trouble paying people for things you don't need.
Okay, we're back. I think.
I'm ready.
Supply and
demand. Hopefully,
we'll find out.
We're gonna win
in a
this race,
moment,
Brad.
in about 30 seconds,
We're gonna win this race.
we'll find out if it's working or not. And I appreciate your patience.
No.
It is.
Audio is
working.
good now.
Audio is great again.
Audio is great again.
Yes.
Well,
Yay!
you know what? I do want to
Audio great
thank.
again.
Who was it that told you?
It was everybody.
Josh.
Every viewer. I got hit by everybody.
All of our viewers. Thank you guys for letting us know, because we have no QC of the process once it leaves the board and all that, other than you guys. So thank you very much.
Thanks to viewers like you.
Hey, okay. Thank you very much. Where were we? You were heading to the library, and you were talking to a myriad of folks. Canestra departs you as well. Heavy-set man, very well dressed, middle-aged, a little bit nervous, kind of a personality of a car salesman. The dom of the Hippodrome. He departs you. Stefan Dukonski, he also departs. He heads off. Nicodemus of Peck, he departs you as well. So you're left with Theodore of Medikites. He walks you toward the library itself. And as you get toward the library, he takes you inside, and there is another individual in there. Not to totally confuse things.
But this is going to totally confuse things.
I'm sure I got
it.
The good news is, I took that $400 and I bought the course.
As he takes you into the library, it is huge. It is huge. All of you
dexterity saving throw.
I guess an intelligence.
Oh boy.
Intelligence check. Or like a history. Thank you.
History?
Oh.
Okay. All right. That's going to be a no for me.
What am I rolling?
That's a 7.
History.
I rolled a 6.
I got a big 11. I rolled a 6 on my die. I guess.
Power of the god.
And Mattias?
Oh.
I have a 6.
D20?
Yeah, history check.
History check.
He's
now he's cutting out.
I got a 24.
A 24.
I have a 16.
I've been reading. I don't know what to tell you.
Who are you?
I've been reading in my old age. I've been reading a lot of books.
Yeah. It's a history check. So
I can't find my prune juice. Has
18.
anyone
Okay,
seen
so
Where's my prune juice?
just Boulder realizes that he remembers the hearing of a library called the Library of Alexandria, and which of course has been destroyed. In your infinite knowledge,
you heard that through that
Somehow-
megaphone.
I
that you
read
carry
it in a
around?
book.
somehow you learned that.
I don't remember what book.
He
But
saw it on a banner.
And this library just makes you think of that place in its immensity. Walls are lined with what would be the then equivalent of bookcases filled with scrolls, just jammed one on top of the other. There's no Dewey Decimal System to figure out what it is, so there's a few acolytes meandering around the room. Theodore Medikites guides you in, and he introduces you to another individual named, he says, this is Theodorus, not to be confused with myself, Theodore. Theodorus.
No.
You alright?
Otankas. Theodorus. Otankas.
behind my intelligence is.
Yeah. What can I help you with?
What can he help us with?
Theodore says, these are nobles from Carpathia and their associates, and they're looking for some knowledge, and we told them we might be able to help them out.
What is this? What is this Theodorus like?
He's an older gentleman. He
Okay.
seems like he's a bookworm of sorts, a scholar, if you will.
What can I help you find?
I have some things that I'm looking for that I could use some assistance with.
Oh, tell me, what are you looking
my
for?
companions might have similar
We have a list
requests.
We have a lot of things.
Came with the shopping list.
I'm personally looking for some information on Frederick Barbarossa, or Frederick the First.
Frederick Barbarossa. Yes, he was an emperor. An emperor of the Holy Roman Empire a while back. I mean, he died in Easton. You're looking for anything specific on him?
Mostly on the actions that took place, perhaps maybe myth or tales, or the history of what happened after his death.
Let me see what I can find. And the rest of you, what are you looking for?
I would like to read some books about gods from this land.
Gods?
Actually, somewhere east of here.
With this thousands of gods.
Bless you.
There's thousands of gods. I mean, you have to narrow.
He'd like to read thousands of books.
From the lands.
How much time
Right
do you have?
east
He looks around. I mean, there's
We're in the right
lands
place.
in the east.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what we can find.
Was it?
I thought you only believed in one
You told me
god.
the city. The place where we were.
Say louder. Call him
off
out.
the table.
Start
Off
fighting.
the table.
Look, he
What
likes-
was
I've
the
never
name of
met
the place
you.
we were. Where we.
This is my first time meeting you.
Gundrick unleashed the curse. What was the name of the place again?
I don't think this dude was with us
I wasn't with you.
when that happens.
As I have been
Table
saying
talk.
since before,
I don't remember.
I'm as the
I thought it was south. I thought it was like pretty much
South
directly south
east.
of where we are.
We'll get back.
Well, he stammers to find his words. Hello? My name is Luvia. Sir, you have a wonderful labor here. It is magnifique.
Well, thank you very much.
Who carries this while we're walking around?
But there's a lot of knowledge here since people would pay a lot of money for. Anyways, you have perhaps books on herbs and alchemy, poisons. How to sorry, not find for cures, of course.
I think so, right?
we have
CEMT?
something along that line.
I don't remember what he said the name or Amet or
Yes,
something like that.
I mean, how much time do you all have?
Amet?
It is
Like Semitic, Amet.
We'll be in the city probably for a few days.
Oh, very well. I'm sure we can move in on. As for the rest of you. A couple acolytes seem to be gathering around, and they're listening in. He's just telling them stand by for a moment.
Yes, I would like to try and find some information on any kind of devils or demons, creatures made of bone, anything of that nature, fairy folk from the north that might be in the records.
I can't help but notice that your features are somewhat different than most your party. Can you narrow where in the north you're talking about?
Scotland.
And can you narrow it any farther or further?
The north, I guess would be north west coast.
Like
Garrinan?
Hebrides Islands. I don't know. Garrinan is
Yes.
the place. Let me see what we can find. And then who else?
Did you want to ask anything?
Is it Semet?
I do.
The name of the place of the Anatolian coast?
There is a giant hole in the ground named Senate.
Yes,
to the
yeah,
east, yes.
that's
The
the
one.
area I would like to know about their pagan
Yeah, they
beliefs.
used to throw people in there. But I'm sorry, you were going to say something. Young
Yes,
old man.
there was an incident there about a curse, and I would like to know something.
I forgot
Baldur,
what
your
I was
voice
gonna say.
changed so much.
Right.
In my later years, I was
I
gonna
hope
ask
you don't
for-
have too many later years. We look like we were born around. the
I
same
wanted
time.
to, since I'm here, I wanted to do a little research on the arcane arts. I'm not a beginner, but I'm also not that great, so something to beginner, maybe a beginner to advanced edition.
The
It's
202,
called
the
intermediate,
302 classes.
maybe.
Like
Little.
a beginner to advanced book I'd like to read.
So you're like one of those 90-year-old people that go to community college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're never too old to learn.
That's right.
That's what I tell my grandkids.
Deb, if you're watching, Attack on Wednesdays.
Good for you.
Us. But anyway. Anyway. Okay.
What are you learning?
Ballroom dance.
I knew
Oh,
that was
no,
the
that's-
answer.
For real?
That's awesome, actually.
Is Theodore
kinda
still
cool.
there?
Yes,
Kinda.
Theodore Medikites is still there.
Then I'm going to walk over and talk to him
Okay.
if I can.
So he gets a sense that you want to talk to him separately, as the conversation with Theodorus Hyrtacanus.
That's a new name.
Why do you make it so
changed that.
hard on
You
yourself?
changed that.
I have
You had-
Theodorus
I mean,
Audacious.
I had
down here.
I mean, we got such easy names. You could have made a Brian or Brad.
I know.
Simple.
Bob.
Just like this
Bob,
is
Brian,
this is
Ryan,
Stinky
Brad.
Pete the librarian. Like,
Man number 3.
Nerd.
Hyrtacanus.
Number 3.
He's a real person. That's why.
Oh.
Wyland and Dylan are the only ones who mess up the names. We all have such simple 4-letter names.
Yeah.
Hyrtacanus. Theodora of Medikites says to you, "Oh, what can I help you with?"
Yes, I have a somewhat unusual request. My companions told you about the matter of the Ghazi,
It's a little heavy.
as I recall, but I need to get that same information to my liege lord in Budapest. I was wondering if there was any way that in the city that one could move information quickly across great distances.
Well, I mean, there are magical means of sending messages, but the important component is knowing who's going to receive it on the other end. And do you have someone to send a message to?
I might. I believe I might.
Is there anything you need to do here in the library then?
I do not think so.
Matthias is
Then-
having a hard time in this
Then
library.
would you mind taking leave of your party and follow me to my office and we'll see what we can...
You know, nice.
You know.
If we're all done being as
Being immature? Yes.
Yes.
Never.
Let's
I'm
take a
40
look
years
at
old
my
and I'm still as
Maddie's
immature
got
as I
a
was when I was
date.
12.
Hey, I'm
Let's take a look at
71
my
and I still
card
find it funny.
catalog.
okay, that time you sounded like the guy from Dodgeball.
Actually,
All right,
70.
I follow.
I want to add a year by accident.
Very well. Theodorus will take care of the rest of you, and myself and Matthias and Virection over here. Just keep me honest. We'll head off.
But
So to speak.
before Mattias leaves, I will ask him. I'll say, "Hey, can you find out what the status is?" I guess as discreetly as possible. I'll tell him one that Gundrick used your name as the man who sunk the ship. I explained this to Medikites, but they're investigating it. So technically, you are a criminal, sort of, or thought to be.
Sunk what ship?
Gundrick sunk
not
a slave
important, you
ship
know
to
nothing
get
about it.
here, and he blamed it on you. He used your name as his own.
Even
Aren't you
in
glad
death,
he's dead?
He vexes me.
Yes. So just heads up, I explained this to Medikites, but just so you're not
Well,
blindsided.
That means
I'll explain
Kendrick
it
didn't
to,
do a good job.
To Theodore, and if need be, I will explain it to Domokos when I speak to him
To tell the story.
via magical means.
Sure. Also, you might want to find out if they plan this is the Byzantine Empire that we're in right now.
Yes.
That if the Byzantine Empire, and I guess your empire, are going to wage war.
Against the Turks.
Yeah, against the open war. Because if so, well, I mean, either way, it would be good to know. But I would feel much more comfortable if we have armies fighting as opposed to the Turks running unchecked.
Let's also not forget that we were planning on going to France, and France and England are in open war as well. Just to keep that in the back of our mind, yes.
I don't know that. Would I know that?
So if you mean to ask,
would you know that?
Carpathia and Eastern Rome are going to openly fight against the Turks?
Yeah, I would just find out the status of that.
Okay.
Because that's very pertinent to us.
We heard it from a bard.
Once I've informed Joakos of Osman Ghazi's status, I will then ask.
Okay, we'll find out about Theodore too.
I'll then ask if it is likely that the king.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not, especially. I mean, nobody's gonna know immediately, but kind of, feel the vibe the room. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Yes. Good. Have fun. Have fun in his chambers.
Theodorus. Also, if you have any volumes or documentation on vampires, I would like to see if there's any information I can read up on them as well, and maybe anything related to this symbol, Balder.
This one right here.
If you've come across any of that in your vast library, that could be very helpful.
Let's see what we can find.
I'll walk up at this point. Theodorus, I was hoping to do some research on vampires and possibly this symbol. Balder, can you show him?
Again?
That would be good to do some research on.
There's an echo.
Didn't we just do that?
No,
I just walked up. I just walked up.
The creature I'm looking for.
What are you talking about? You
Just
feeling okay,
saying
Balder?
creature.
Is your memory going?
Was that something you wanted to do?
No, I was making a joke because I wasn't technically. I was talking to Mattias while you were doing that.
Oh.
So I was just being funny.
Oh, you were just stealing my good idea?
No, it actually is on my list. Actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, actually, I didn't put it on my list.
Show us this list.
Because it wasn't on my list. I just thought of it.
So I have a list.
I didn't prepare Tom for that.
I guess first and foremost, I'd like a little bit of information on a saint. I'd like to hear. I'd like the story of Saint Sophia. Like I don't know what the Bible says or what your history says.
Yes, I think I know whether there is something like that.
I'm sure it wouldn't be. It's not in the Bible. I don't know. I'm not very.
Oh yeah,
religious.
While after I hear John say that and ask that question, I'm just gonna kind of
I didn't even write one.
Pull him aside and kind of say quietly to him. I know, but I just want to say to him, just be careful how much you question their faith in your process of doing your research.
Oh, okay.
Just
yeah. I'm trying to learn about that.
Of course.
I'm trying to be an ambassador here.
I got you.
So that's number one on my list. Perhaps you have like maps of the area, of this area of Europe.
Some very nice maps.
We're taking a large trip northwest, and if we,
yes, I mean, he was talking about the Hebrides. Yes, I believe he did.
I don't know if we're okay, but yeah. So we're journeying far. So if we could possibly use that to help chart our journey, that would be very helpful. Any information on Constantinople and the pillar in the center of the Hippodrome? That's very interesting.
I mean, there's multiple pillars.
I think you know the one I'm talking about.
I think
the coiled serpent.
I think you know which one.
It used to have two serpents, their heads crossed like this.
It used to have three.
Oh, I'm sorry, three serpents, their heads crossed like this.
Yes.
But
it was recently broken.
Yes.
Some scoundrel in one of the races.
Yes, truly.
That was us.
Devious and terrible.
It was you.
Force.
Not me.
No, it wasn't any of us actually. No one in this room did that. Some more information on that because that seems not great. The Gnostics, which I think is that amulet.
Such a cruel god.
I remember reading something about them, yes.
Possibly creatures that dwell beneath the earth. Mythological, anything that might be helpful
You
there.
guys are reading a lot.
I know, it's a lot of reading.
Dragons.
Dragons.
Magical rabbit men.
You are a very learned man to be inquiring about so many.
Well, see, that's the thing. We're not learned. We're trying to become learned.
Hey, I have the highest
rabbits,
intelligence
men, you
here,
said?
okay?
Yes, possibly men
Probably.
that wear the skins of
Maybe not.
rabbits and
I'm an 18.
or have magical abilities.
These are not just furries. These
Someone
are
might
actually people who.
Some people
No,
are
you
into
don't
I
it.
don't think they're mutually exclusive, but yes, no. I think they take it one step further.
They're not pretending to be rabbits.
Balder's the smartest,
No.
smartest
Well,
one
I
here.
don't know,
At
actually.
18.
They're not pretending to be rabbits.
The creature
they
I'm looking for
draw power for rabbits.
is a creature.
It's just like a coat,
Her
right?
upper body is a woman. The lower body is a goat.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
We don't-
Yes.
I'm sorry, what nightmare are you describing?
That's not associated with the rabbits.
But
That's an entirely
the upper
different
body
thing.
is a woman. The lower body is a goat. It's related to a curse that was released.
Do you have a name?
Shalom.
Mrs.
No.
Shut up.
I mean, that's the name of this
No,
goat.
no.
Oh, that's his name.
No, it was never mentioned. The name of the creature. She's related to the undead.
His intelligence is
The curse that was released in these.
We just said it's hilarious. Balder's the
was a
smartest
bunch
one in
of
the room.
ghosts,
I have
which
first off,
aged
I have
our
an
friend
intelligence
here,
of 10, which is average.
and
I have 18.
the people that they kill became
My wisdom
zombies.
is
three,
They
terrible.
so
raised
super
from the
ugly,
dead
bad
and
people.
And my wisdom is terrible.
and
But that's
killed
typical of someone who's very
The
intelligent.
22 is the
Well,
most super.
we'll do what we can.
It's typical
but
of someone very intelligent. The charisma is terrible.
without knowing exactly what we're looking for. I mean,
And she dwells in a blue, shiny crystal
Yeah.
that goes deep in the earth.
How do we know?
that makes it so much
Do we know?
clearer.
Oh, that is a good
I
question.
don't
Do
know.
we know that? How do we know that?
this?
Why would we know that?
Frederick Barbarossa said.
Oh, he said it.
He said that he met the lady.
He did.
And he said she lived in the crystal? He said all of that?
We know that she
The lady of the crystal.
is inside the crystal.
He said that she was a half.
You
goat.
met Frederick Barbarossa.
Hey, you guys missed
The
a
gold
lot.
stuff, Frederick Barbarossa.
He said she was a half.
Oh, that makes it so much clearer. And he told you that he met a
Maybe you're just so
goat
distracted by
woman
the
who
fact that she was
lives
a
in
lady.
Yes.
Half goat.
In the crystal.
in a
I
crystal
would miss half goat.
with
That'd be a
rabbit
fun
men.
mini.
No.
I mean, I saw the mini.
Very well. We'll do what we can
I
find.
wasn't done, actually.
Oh,
I had more.
How many books does one man need? Do you have any books on reversing aging?
They don't have just books.
Reversing.
They have scrolls too.
There's probably a lot of
Well,
books.
if you find one
Crazy
in here,
subjects.
you let me know, please.
10 subjects.
I hear you.
I haven't even looked
Lots
for
of
it.
books.
See these
I've
commercials?
How about a fountain of youth and its location?
Right, sure, just around the corner.
I happen to know right where that is.
So, the Teutonic Order.
I'm gonna touch that thing again. It's a fountain of youth.
Huh?
I'm gonna touch that thing again. Stop.
Well, follow me around and we'll see what we can
Yeah,
do.
let's go
I
for
think
it.
some of our requests here
We
kind
need a
of
shopping cart.
interweave
Um,
amongst
He
each
starts
other, so.
meandering around, and several of the acolytes are following around. He starts pulling out scrolls, and he goes, "Oh, here's one on some alchemy and herbs," and he stacks it up, and he starts stacking them up. And some of these people are walking around with scrolls in their hands.
We have a big race
And,
tomorrow. We're going to be up all night reading books.
You're gonna take the ones
He's
with
thumbing.
gold
He's
filigree.
thumbing through the books. He's not reading all that.
You're gonna take the ones with gold.
He's going right to the
No, I would
index.
never.
That's what I want.
I mean, if it is something that I need to be reading.
Hey, you asked.
I have a photograph.
What was the name of the village you asked about?
Still?
Garanon.
Oh, again.
Still?
Yes, yes.
Thanks to 5e rules, nothing changes.
Do you speak Latin?
Do I speak Latin? I believe I do.
He's thumbing through several scrolls.
I do.
Like it
You do
matters,
speak
though.
Latin.
What?
You seem to act like it matters, though.
Yes, yes.
There's no rule for
We
it.
should, though.
I happen to have several scrolls here on up in the area called the Hebrides Islands. Are you familiar with them?
Alright, I'll just speak like an old man from now on.
Giernan is in there.
Put some baby
Yes,
pad.
let me know if any of this is helpful.
I'll protect the
where
Emperor.
did you say you were from?
Who's the Emperor? Is he
Um,
that guy?
No, you didn't, did you?
I didn't.
Well,
Every enemy is a whippersnapper.
Oh man, please.
I can't hear
You
anything you're saying, Tom.
whippersnapper.
To be honest with you.
Alright, that's a wolf.
Welcome to my world.
Mhm.
What big teeth you have?
I'm looking for some information near the Kaif House, sir.
Okay, that's a mountain down in the
In that region.
Down in the yeah, I mean, he starts thumbing through something.
Germanic.
He says, "I can look for more." Yes, the Clive House is a mountain.
Told you I have a high intelligence.
And do you speak Latin?
I do not.
Please, and this tells about several mountains in the region. There's the Kaifhauser, which is where supposedly one of the two locations that Frederick Barbarossa would go and wait there until the crow returns to tell him that it's safe to return. Do any of your compatriots speak Latin then? Well, I mean, this young man does over here.
Yeah.
Then perhaps he can help you translate this for you. And,
Brother,
Excellent.
Just out of
Brother
curiosity, I have the Italian
Latin
language
if you
group.
need
Is
my
that
Hey, I
part of
can't
that or
hear
separate?
everything.
I'd have to look at the
Okay.
meetup.
Oh,
You
fair,
probably
fair.
have quicker access than I do. I don't remember off the top of my head.
My bad.
No, I mean, you can look it up. It's cool. I don't remember.
I just didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good. I don't
didn't
remember.
mean to.
I just don't remember.
I mean, if it doesn't, I can help you translate it. I imagine. I don't know.
He does.
I mean, I speak Latin, so I can help translate.
I know
imagine.
Latin.
I believe the
Yeah.
Holy One already offered to translate.
Yeah, you guys.
yeah, other people do, so
everybody's
we
good.
can help
I don't need the
translate.
translation. I was just curious, like out of character.
I happen to know Latin too.
In real life,
No.
Some.
I took 2 years
in real life
in college. I was.
He grabs a handful of scrolls. He says, "These are all on Eastern gods. Most of them are written in either Aramaic or Latin.
Yes.
I mean, you're welcome to go through them. Please be careful with them. Some of them are several hundred years old."
Okay.
And he hands them to you, and an acolyte kind of guides you over to a table and helps you spread them out. And you realize that, I mean, there's literally hundreds of gods. And there are descriptions, and it just, you start going through, and it's not like typing in, what'd you say, upper body woman, lower body goat in Wikipedia, and boom, there it is.
Unfortunately, the name was never said, and Gundrick died before he could tell it.
Well, there's always ways around that too. I mean, he could go and get his mouth to magically garble again.
Yeah, somehow I doubt the desecration of the dead is desecration of the dead when it's someone who clearly was hated by everything and everyone in the universe.
Yeah,
And what exactly are you looking for regarding arcane arts? Can you narrow it slightly? I mean, there's thousands of arcane items.
Of course, just a generic overview of how to make healing potions and things of that medicinal nature.
There's something along the lines of what herbs are used specifically to achieve certain results. Is that what you mean?
I mean, I have a pretty basic understanding, so more of an intermediate advanced.
Well, let me see what we can find. He points to an acolyte who kind of guides you off to a corner. You can clearly see that there's actually little bags with stuff that smells hanging in them as well, almost as if they were the equivalent of a picture in Wikipedia to add emphasis to what they are. But you can just see that the place is vast, and there's all different types of stuff hanging along the edges and so forth. And he comes back over to, what were you looking for again? You were looking for, I forget.
sorry. I was looking for things on alchemy. I believe you are to give me the scrolls.
Oh, that's right. I did give you the scrolls. I thought it was that man.
So it's okay. You're a busy man.
And then
Who knows every book?
I don't know every book. I know many of the books. And you were asking about.
I had the laundry list.
Yes, you had a rather long laundry list.
Yes.
Follow me, and he escorts you over to an area of maps. Now, how large of an area of maps are you looking for?
Very large.
Well, he eventually, you see several of them, and he goes, so not just like Constantinople, you want the large region.
A regional, yes. The Carpathian region, and also just northwest of here, the Europe along the where France. Would be Germany possibly.
We have one of the rarest maps in the world. Oh, it's also one of the newest maps. It's huge, and he reaches up, and another acolyte comes over and helps him pull out this map. And you look at it; it's almost the height of a man.
Oh, okay.
And he takes it over to a table and he starts rolling it out, and you can see it's made of vellum. This is a very rare map. It has over 1,000 locations upon it. Wow. And it's relatively recent, which means it's fairly current. It was made about 1300. So
who?
It was made by someone in England, Richard Huldingham.
Richard Huldingham?
Yes, or his name might have been Lawford. I'm not really sure. I can't remember exactly, but I can look that up somewhere else. It's somewhat complicated to read.
Okay.
Would
perhaps we be able to commission an acolyte to, if I gave a list of pertinent locations, to copy our own version of this map onto like a paper or a smaller piece of vellum?
How much time?
Like I said, we're here for about a week. 5 days.
We might be able to do something like that. If you gave us a list of locations, perhaps. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yes. I mean, there's 1,000. I mean, this is a huge endeavor.
Yes, I see.
And we'll come back to that. What else is it you wanted to look at?
The story of Saint Simonida.
Oh, Saint what?
I'm sorry, Saint Sophia. I'm sorry, I have a lot on my mind.
I didn't hear.
Sophia.
Oh, okay. I thought you
Excuse
had
me.
something else.
It's I'm very stressed.
That's her second name. You didn't know?
Yes, well, she's a favorite. You know the Hagia Sophia, isn't it?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Yeah. Do you know what Sophia means?
Soft. I think it means wisdom.
Yes, it does. You are a very wise man. Yes.
And he reaches over, wise man.
and he pulls out a couple scrolls after wandering down a couple aisles.
Okay.
And he harvests them over toward the table. And I think the last thing you asked about was Gnosticism, I believe.
That was one of the
well, I mean, there were others. I have a list here on my associate.
I don't expect them to.
This should keep you busy reading for several hours at least.
Sure.
And he hands you all plenty of material to keep going through for quite a while. Every single one of you. The hours pass under candlelight as you read through this material. Those of you who I gave handouts, those are the nuggets that you pull out. There's a lot more information, but those are like the germane points, if you will.
I'm going to transcribe things that are relevant to what I'm looking for.
Okay.
I'm a Christian monk. I can't stay here all night.
This is how you respond.
No, that's for you.
Oh, okay.
Table talk.
Okay, so you know that you could, you're not ignorant of magic, that you could respond in 25 words or less.
Okay.
But you don't have to. There's no requirement to do so.
No, I'm just gonna panic.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you meant that. Yes, I think I know that.
Okay.
Okay.
Just making sure it's as suspicious as I thought it was.
Okay. The rest, you are. You can see the lights in the top. The light that penetrates the top of the building slowly sets. He gives you plenty. And there's a couple acolytes there working with you, and they're like, do you speak Hellenic?
Yes.
They say to you in Hellenic, whenever you're done, we'll continue working through this for you and try and identify it if we can. But by all means, keep working.
So I'll work a little bit more. Tomorrow I'll be protecting the Emperor, so I'm not going to stay too long here.
Yes.
I'll help you as much as I can.
Very well, sir. Very well. And they seem subservient to you in the sense that they know that somebody has told them to help you. The early evening starts to pass the late evening, and much as you might sitting at your personal computer, cruising from one web page to another, to another, to another, to another, before you know it.
This scroll is filled with pictures of cats.
Okay.
Look at this funny hat he is wearing.
A little bit too much about Violet.
Does that one have bread around its head?
Okay, back to Mattias. I'm sorry, Mattias. Mattias. So, Theodorus.
I think I've gone to the wrong scroll.
Brian keeps moving his scrolls to the left.
He said, I happen to have, Mattias, I happen to have 2 scrolls of sending here. Do you know how they work?
I believe so. Don't you send? You can send a limited amount of information.
You can send
one way.
Send a message with 25 words or less with each scroll, and then someone can respond to you with 25 words or less. I would need more time to make more scrolls. You can use these scrolls yourself, but you have to know the recipient.
I do know who I wish to contact.
Oh, very well. Then he hands you the 2 scrolls. He says, I won't
Thank you.
Oh, very well. Do you wish time alone here, or do you want to rejoin your compatriots?
I will return to my compatriots for now, but thank you so much.
Very well.
This is... Thank you.
Ah. And he takes you back to your to the library. It's meandering through the palace itself. You realize that it's a huge palatial, quite ostentatious, over the top, meant to impress, and it suitably does so. You make your way back toward the library. I don't think you can see the picture, but it's a huge library as well. Rivals.
I can see it sort of.
Rivals what you might think of the Library of Alexandria to be like.
Had Alexandria survived out of antiquity.
Yes. And yes, exactly.
Alexandria.
And or as Mark showed you. There you go.
I'm gonna just pull Kip aside and say, Kip, can you help me? I see a couple.
Can you not read?
I could read some, but not Latin.
Oh.
Thank you.
This is A.
Just like you can't fight, I can't read. I see the name of my people here. The Tenesiteri. That's the name of the people that I come from. And I see the region that I'm from, but I don't know what it's saying. So I'm just going to ask Kip to kind of just read it for me, or just help me transcribe it.
This is Latin. It's the language. Yes, I can help you read it.
Yeah. So
I'll read it.
Yeah, we do that.
Okay. The night passes.
What you see, just wait.
Theodorus, you see him
presumably
starting to nod off.
We're meant to leave this. The scrolls are not meant to leave the library.
Who are you asking? Are you asking, or are you just assuming?
I'm just trying to make an assumption based on what I know about a library.
You would assume that that's probably scrolls, and there's no Amazon, so it's they're fairly valuable and
fair enough.
But they seem to be letting you
just so we get free reign as long as we're in the building. Pretty much is what.
What? It's
It's
not like they've given you a limited license on them, but nobody's asked to take them or anything like that, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah. No. I know. Okay.
And you suspect that might be...
It's a reasonable assumption.
Might be asking a bit much.
Before the night passes, I'm going to pull Jonas to the side.
Well, you're all in the library, so you can all communicate.
Yes. So I'm gonna pull him into a corner for privacy's sake. I'm visibly panicked, sweating a little bit, and be like,
"You okay?"
Listen, my friends. I know back on the ship you had the heartfelt saying you opened up to everybody about something very personal to you, and I feel because of that I trust you a little bit more.
Do you have what Maddie has had? Do you have to go to the loo?
I'm trying to have a private conversation.
We're trying to have a private conversation. Go away.
I thought. Sorry. I thought I was there. Sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. Here, let's go to a different corner.
I thought he approached the party. I'm sorry.
I didn't realize Kip was here.
Sorry, I thought he said he approached the party. That was my bad.
It's all good.
Take it back.
Over there. Shuffle.
Back to reading loud.
The library is huge, but the reading room is just...
It's like a table about this.
Sorry, I'm gonna go back to here where Boren put his spectacles back on.
Okay.
My friend, I feel because of that I can trust you, and there is something that is perhaps threatening to my life. When I was very, very young, my sister, a little bit older than I was, basically murdered our father. My mother had been dead for a while, but she murdered our father, and she told the townspeople that it was my fault, and convinced me to flee. And I just have a penetrating sorts of her voice just now saying, "Oh, sweet Basil, I miss you. Come to me." That's terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm afraid for my life.
Okay.
She could be here. It felt like her. What do I do?
Okay. That's a good question. So you heard her voice in your head.
Oui.
And it was definitely her. You know it was her.
Well, from what I can tell.
She said, "Okay, I am familiar, I guess, with this sort of magic. If it's the same sort of thing that I use, she could be anywhere. She doesn't necessarily maybe here, but she could be on the other end of the world. As far as I know, I've been able to send messages across kingdoms and
yes, to Avignon.
Would I know that? Would I have heard that before?
Avignon.
You would have heard
Avignon.
Avignon,
France.
That's in France.
You know that it's in southeastern France.
Okay.
You would know. You're not that far. We're not that
Oh,
far.
so
from that
okay,
place.
so it sounds like she's in France.
But you're not. Yeah, you're not.
Right.
Well, we're heading to the Chateau Chinon, that place in I don't remember where it is.
It's in France.
Oh,
It's in north, is central western France.
You do have a huge map in front of you.
I do. Yes. Well, I don't. I was brought to a corner, so I don't have it in front of me.
And you also have a map right there.
I was talking.
Is this something? Is this a place you want to return to?
Avignon.
Not particularly. I have been traveling most of my life, mainly to avoid that encounter. I've been on the run.
It's your map, not mine.
Yes.
Is Avignon marked?
Oh, yeah, right here. And okay, so they're like
It's
A
on
hop,
the way.
skip, and a jump, man.
It's on the way.
yeah. So
It's only like
assuming
what,
we're
6
gonna-
inches?
well, I don't know how. What, I missed whatever joke just happened.
It's only 6 inches.
It's at least 30. It's at least 5 minutes by bicycle ride.
Yeah, right? How far can how long could it take?
At least 6 inches. That's
Nickelodeon joke.
average, right?
It's on our way.
Well, if we left and it took us 10 days, and then if somebody left and it took 6 days.
Oh, no.
Oh my god.
How many days would...
I mean, there's a chance she can find you.
That is what scares me.
We can avoid this if you want, or we can face it head on. It seems like, according to my knowledge, it seems like it would be on the way to the chateau. And I mean, you've traveled with us, you've done battle with us. We could possibly try to do something with this.
I don't know that I have the strength, because I fear that if I do encounter her, I will end up fighting her. She's sadistic and manipulative, even from the small age of the child.
Mm-hmm. I mean, perhaps she's turned a new leaf. I don't know. Whatever you decide, you don't have to decide now, but we can help. That's what we're here for. That's why we're traveling together. Partially. So.
I would greatly appreciate it. I will think about it on the way.
Okay. Let me know. And if whatever you decide, we probably have to open up and tell the rest of them about as well. So.
Yes.
Of course. If it comes to that.
Of course, of course. You are a good friend.
Thanks. You as well. My goodness. Cool.
Oh, sorry. Okay, what are you guys doing?
Well, before it gets too late, now that I'm gonna kind of make my way out. I have a stop I want to make on the way. Oh no, we're staying here, right? Are we staying?
It's up to you.
Did we decide to stay here?
It's also, how late is it? It's late now, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, maybe that'll be something for tomorrow. Then.
Yeah. Yeah. So
if we're staying here, I'm just gonna stay.
I can't stay up as late as I used to.
All right, old man.
6 p.m.
I'm going to.
The older you get, the less you sleep.
Hey, old man, I'm gonna go find our rooms. I'm gonna go get some sleep. We got a big day tomorrow.
He's already passed out.
But I am gonna head out early.
In the book.
Just sitting there and just, hey, Boulder, I'm just resting my eyes.
You close his book. I was reading that.
It's like the Reader's Digest.
Crossword puzzle.
TV guide.
Oh man.
I do have a stop out in the city to make in the morning before we head to the races. So
60 minutes is on in the background.
And I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna go wherever our quarters are for the evening.
Okay. There's someone outside. It's not Theodore Medikites. It's he looks to you and then he. Are you leaving or are you staying?
I guess we were offered quarters for the evening.
Yes, by all means.
I'll head there.
And then he accompanies you. You have quite lavish quarters. Separate. He takes you into a veranda area there are multiple rooms off of it, and it seems like the entire area is somewhat private to yourself, so that you have a personal space and that you have a communal space as well, should you need it. And he says, "Will the rest of your party be joining you here?"
That is up to them.
Yep.
Can I get some food and drink?
Yeah, there should be some on the table in the center. And you go over and you see a spread. It's not hot food, but there's plenty of food. It's fairly late at night. There's cheeses and fruits and salted meats and plenty of to keep bread and what have you.
Okay.
And ale and wine and what have you. What are the rest of you doing?
So before I leave, I'll just, I guess I'll talk to an acolyte and say, I understand that we gave you a lot of research to do. So I'll be in my quarters. I've got more work to do here. I'll be in the races tomorrow. So if there's any additional research that you're able to find, if you could please supply me with that. When you do.
Theodorus comes over.
Yes, by all means. Well, some of them will work through the night and see what they can find for you, and then they'll bring it to you.
Yeah. So anything more that you can find on this has been great. More on the vampire request.
Yes, I mean, vampires are a bit of an oddity. They're not, they don't publish a lot of material, but we'll see what we can find.
Okay. And then I'll whatever I've taken notes on, and then I'll head out. As well.
Yes. The big question is, which is the first vampire? Well, it's like the chicken and the egg theory. Where did it come from? And I think that's a quandary that there are many debated answers in the scrolls. And it's fascinating reading. It will probably keep you occupied for hours and hours.
Yes, but
hours.
I'd be curious about weaknesses. What have been.
Yes,
I mean, we all know. I think the stuff that they tell children, but what might this library hold? I don't know.
Yeah, very well. Yeah, we'll see what we can find.
Anything we can find on this medallion and whatnot.
Yes.
The symbol.
Would you mind if one of our acolytes here makes a rubbing?
A rubbing, yeah.
Of course. No problem.
There might be some stray hairs in there.
Yes. And he takes it, and one comes over with a piece of parchment and just rubs a piece of what appears to be a piece of lead across it until it makes a very fine, clear image of it. Then he hands it back to you.
Because is there anything we should know about it? Is it evil or anything like that?
It appears to give the vampires protection, to allow them to assimilate back into almost a human form.
Very interesting. Yes. We'll see what we can find. Yes, that's quite powerful.
Is it like a glamour, or
it protects them from the sun?
Yeah.
Hypothetical.
It doesn't. I don't think it changes their appearance as far as we've seen.
They can walk.
So they still look pale. It just helps them survive in otherwise deadly conditions.
It turns them into daywalkers, pretty much.
Blade.
Yeah, some sort of physical protection. I have felt nothing wearing it.
You get sunburned yet, so.
Simply a token to remind the vampire that I took this from. That we will kill him.
I guess if you were to put it on someone who's dead or just died, then you might find something more about it, might you?
Are you saying it might
You're very wise.
I'm not suggesting you kill your friend.
No. Triton Gundrick.
I'll give that a try.
Interesting.
Also, he should have been burnt by now. I thought they were destroying.
To the best of your ability, how dead would they have to be?
We're purely speculating at this late hour. I mean, how dead is a vampire?
Just let it go.
I would assume pretty dead.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a fair assumption.
Purely science.
You've given me something to think about.
I'm pretty dead. Here at this board meeting we've called at Harvard University, and we've come to discuss the terms of how dead is a vampire. I'd say pretty dead. No, doctor.
Revivify.
This is reset.
He will be right back. Brian.
Thank you.
Revivify. You left one alive.
I'm afraid your friend is only mostly dead.
My favorite. Mooney is my favorite.
That was good.
Okay. Good stuff. Okay, you got. You're welcome to. You get the sense that you're welcome to keep reading through ponderous books, and there is. You saw Borinth leave. The rest of you.
Follow him out.
Yeah,
I'll leave around midnight.
Okay.
For my quarters.
Yep.
I'll thank you for their help. And anything they can.
We'll see what we can come up with over the night and perhaps over the next couple of days. You're here for about a week. Your
Yes.
compatriot said, yes. Very well.
I will be back as soon as I can.
Very well. Matthias, you're back with the others. What are you doing?
Not really anything in particular. I don't have any real business in the library.
Matthias, look at this map. It's really cool.
Which map? What is it a map of?
The world.
Oh.
All of it.
That's impressive, actually.
Yes.
Is this the whole world or just a part?
I will show you. It is a lot of the world.
You know what they got right about that?
Great deal of the world, isn't
It's
it?
flat.
Yes.
Yes.
I was asking the
Giant walls of
acolytes,
ice surround the earth.
I was asking the acolytes if they'd be able to
We're
make us
flying
our
around the
own
sun
version
on
of
this.
it.
If
Based
you go
on,
too far west, you're gonna fall.
Like we give them a list of locations and they can possibly give us our own version of this map. With those locations on them.
That could be good.
So if you want to help compile a list while a couple of us are doing research, maybe like ping pong around, see where everybody wants to go, and drive make up a list. That'd be probably pretty neat. If you're not doing anything else.
If you're not busy.
Not this evening.
Okay.
I received some items that will help me send the information I need to
excellent.
Carpathia, but I think it'd be best to wait until a decent hour tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Are you're able to handle that yourself? With the scrolls?
Yes, I just need to decide if Dumakos is if I should contact him or perhaps Dobra.
Oh. Dobra, I think, is more friendly to us, but I think Domakos was not a good. I don't like him. If I remember correctly, if he's who I think he is.
The doorkeeper.
I think he kind of sucks.
Not as badly as Borsa.
Yeah, but I feel like Borsa's right out. That's up to you. Domakos has more pull, but Doza is more friendly to our cause. So
the question is whether Doza would be able to get the information to the king in a timely manner.
Right. Can you just send it right to the king?
I could, I suppose, but I have not met him personally, and it might not be well received.
Okay.
I mean, I was only recently acknowledged as a noble, and I am an unlanded knight baron.
Right.
That is essentially equivalent to the lowest you could get without being a merchant in the social order.
Right. Well, I trust your instincts on this, so you whatever you decide, I'm sure will be the right decision.
I'll think about it. Probably decide tomorrow.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. Unless
But
you
yes,
do
I'd
anything.
be happy to help with this map project.
Cool.
You're welcome to stay as late as you want in the library. You can see that people clearly work through the night and overnight. There's nobody else. It's very sparsely occupied. And anybody who wants to be taken to quarters in the palace are escorted either as a group or separately toward the large veranda with separate alcoved rooms off of it.
Could I have possibly even earlier, like right after I had talked with Louvier, maybe, can I send a message to Simonita again using the sending spell?
Of course.
Just kind of like when we were done with our conversation or whatever, I found another quiet alcove, and I'm gonna say, Simonita, It's Jumnus. I'm coming for you tomorrow. Stay safe. Stay hidden. What?
Let's keep it secret. Keep it safe.
I guess, I mean, that's really it.
Tomorrow?
A few moments pass
Mm-hmm.
as you're busying yourself about the library, and you hear a message in your head. She says, you clearly recognize it as Simonita replying, Jumnus, don't. It may take us a few days to get over the mountains. Through their lines, the Justinian's bridge has fallen, cutting off the interior. And the message cuts off.
Okay, I'm gonna check on my spell slots I got. Cast it once. All right. I can cast it again, so I'll cast it again. I'll say the bridge is out. Can you get here safely? Why don't you want us to come?
A few minutes pass, and you hear a reply. Jumnus, Adipazari fell with the bridge. It was terrible. If we can't get over the mountains, we're going to make our way toward the coast.
That's it?
25 words, but...
Can I'll do it. This is the last time I can do it.
I'm gonna go to sleep anyway.
I'm gonna be attacked in the middle of the night. I'm gonna need all these spell slots. This is my last message. Which coast can you give more info?
Jumnus.
You know the one.
I know.
We are heading west towards Smyrna. If we can get through the lines, we will try. And the message comes off.
They said west towards
Smyrna?
Smirnoff. Smyrna.
So it's a
I
party.
have S-M-I-R-N-A.
Smirnoff party.
Why? But otherwise right?
Spring break party.
Okay. Cool.
What are you doing over
I'm
there?
done. Casting's back. So okay, so that's what I got. West towards Smyrna.
Nighttime. You're in a reasonably safe. You would assume reasonably safe.
Throw that one away.
Okay. I will
Someone
go
did
to
try to kill the third emperor in his room.
That's
His
so
throne
weird.
room.
You would think that would be a safe place where people are being eaten and flayed in, such a warm, welcoming environment. And, hey, you'd be safe there, but all right, I go to bed.
And the rest of you?
Yeah.
Yes, at midnight I will.
Okay. Mattias, anything else you're doing?
No.
No. Okay. Unless you guys leave, unless anyone leaves, which no one prevents you from leaving if you choose to do so, you're escorted toward very, very comfortable quarters. Inside, you recognize there's a common area, a private common area with private rooms off of that common area. In the palace, the Blackernese palace itself, very ornate. As opposed to the Sagut palace, this one, which was it was over the top in carving, but it was all white and pale. This one is gold filigreed with mosaics and lots of color. Over the top, just flamboyance color of vibrance and color. The night passes uneventfully. You wake up the next morning, there is fresh food out in the middle of the room. Unless you do something.
I was going to do just
Sure,
really
go
quick.
ahead. Yeah, take as much
So
time as you
Borth has been drinking for a while longer than everybody else has been around and been eating, and I'm half in and out of sleep. When I see Kip come back, I'm just going to say to him, Kip, have you heard from Gundrick? You seen him?
just want to talk.
Have I?
No.
No. No, I haven't.
I'm gonna pass out and sleep.
And then I'll shake my head. I shouldn't have told him anything. And then go to bed.
Shouldn't have told who anything.
Warren. Okay. We had that exchange in the middle of the street.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So now he thinks I,
I see dead people.
Yeah, you do.
Dead people. Does he though?
Do I?
I don't know.
Am I dead?
The next morning,
dream.
The next morning comes. You can see sunlight beaming through what appears to be almost like panes of leaded glass overhead, bits of colored glass and mosaic, almost like in a cathedral or in a church, but not. Shining different bolts of light down through the room. There's fresh food out in front of you. And if you're still passed out, there's fresh drink there in front of you as well.
Well, Lawrence was going to wake up extra early.
Just
Okay.
before the sun even comes up. Extra early. Get a couple reps in. No. But yeah, I'm going to wake up extra early. What was the name of the temple that you guys went into?
Oh, shame. No one finished these?
There's plenty, and it's all fresh.
Kip's already up. He doesn't sleep much.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
the
I'm
guy that's
looking
just always
to leave
Standing at the end of the bed, staring at
and
Warren.
go to the what is it? The Hagia Sophia, the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking to work my way out there. I'm gonna go and grab some food and kind of pack a bag, and I'm gonna start heading out.
When you pass by the room, I'm gonna open the door and say, "Born, when you asked me last night if I saw Gundrick, I don't see him in the way that you meant, but I do still see the moment when you slew him.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
I didn't figure you did. And then I'll just walk back into my room, shut the door.
Okay then.
I'm gonna go up over by Balder. I'm gonna go find Balder
Just
and
locks eyes as he closes the door.
I'm gonna tell Balder.
So that's where Gundrick went.
Give him a kick at whatever the bed he's sleeping on or wherever he's sleeping on. I'm gonna give him a kick, and I'm telling him I'm leaving, but to come find me near the temple before we get ready for the chariot race. That somebody needs to go grab me.
Okay, I'm up, I'm coming.
I didn't say for you to come. I said I'm going into the city. I'm going into the city.
It's interesting. It's interesting. I'll meet you
awake.
You get up the next morning. No problem. No disadvantages or anything, but your back and your knees. And like one knee in particular more than the other.
Just clicks
every
time.
And
you better not slow me down, old man.
Every time you bend it, it just clicks a little.
And the room is just...
I just sit there rubbing it.
Just not warm enough.
Your first day.
Someone,
71.
you think they can afford to turn the heat on in the palace?
You better not slow me down, old man. Let's go.
All right, I'll come.
All right, I'm getting up.
I'm heading to the temple. I'm gonna head to the temple. I'm trying to get out before daylight even comes up.
I'm intrigued. I'll follow him.
Okay, so
Get a
early
fresh
in the
air in the morning.
Just a few
Stretch the
as
legs.
as you walk out. Somebody who knows, and then you start to make your way out.
I'm gonna head to the market.
Okay, it's still very early if you're heading out with them.
Oh no, I wanted to go to the market, not wherever they're going.
Well, but I meant you're heading out early in the morning.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean,
like
you know,
the market might not be set up. Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
You like that
then
guy?
I'll
You
wait.
like that guy who stands at the door
I'm
and says,
probably awake already. I'm gonna take care of my
That's
equipment.
entirely up to you.
I'm gonna take care of my.
Are you open?
5 minutes before
And
you're
they're
open.
open.
I
Why
noticed
don't
you have
sign?
nothing on the shelves. Are you
I'll go
open?
to the library and
Alright,
stay there
I'll-
until the time.
If
we
you guys
go
don't mind, I'll
to
just
the
tag
actual
along then. I gotta go to
Okay.
market, but
Great.
I mean,
Okay,
I'll
sounds
just tag
good.
along. I'll tag along with them.
Okay, so you,
Morning calisthenics.
the three of you head out. You're escorted out just so that you find your way out. You don't have a sense that they're guarding you per se. They're just making sure, because you can see that there's just many rooms and alcoves off of alcoves after alcoves. And it's not like the 20th century design with this is a hallway, there's a room, there's a room, there's a room, there's a room. It's rooms off of rooms off of rooms as you're escorted out again. You exit the palace, you're going down a long track that leads in toward the city, and it's an expansive city. You've seen pictures of it.
have to read all the rule
Just
books so you see this.
red tiled roofs and terracotta walls. And eventually you can't miss the Hagia Sophia. Huge building with a dome over it. And you're generally heading toward it. The streets are very quiet. It's very early.
Yeah. As we're walking down, I'm just gonna say to Balder, you notice ever since Jomnus went to this temple that he's been acting a little weird.
I have.
Something happened in there. And I'm planning to go find out. So if you guys don't want to be a part of that, I understand. But I'm going in there to find out what happened.
Do you think something bad's gonna happen in a temple? I mean, I'll come with, but I mean, it's kind of odd.
Yeah, well, he's been acting odd. So something happened in there.
This is true.
So I'm going to find out what it was.
I'll come with you.
All right, I'm just warning you. I have no ties to whatever's in there, so if it happens, happens.
You're not a religious man.
Again, we're just talking about a temple.
Yeah, I don't know what happened in there. I just know that he came out different.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah. So we're headed to the temple.
Okay, so you make your way toward the Hagia Sophia, this huge building with light reddish fired brick, with a massive dome. You're probably one of the largest buildings you've ever seen, if not the largest building you've ever seen. The doors are one door is slightly ajar, one door is closed, as if admitting people to come in. But you can see there's not a lot of traffic at this time in the morning.
Okay, I'm going in.
You go in, you're in a massive rotunda that just climbs as far as you can see, about 180 feet to a huge dome with gold and blue encrusted pictures above it.
Echo!
You can see that many of the side doors to
that
what
big?
would be other smaller chambers and other
still
smaller
doesn't
areas to pray are closed off.
Is there anyone in there?
There's a few people wandering around, and there's a few people praying
Is
of
this-
different
is-
religions.
Oh, different religions. This isn't
Yeah,
like
you see
predominantly
some-
Christianity.
It
this
is Christian, it is Orthodox,
Okay.
predominantly Orthodox Christian, but you see some Byzantium had a large Muslim population at this point.
Okay.
You do see some Muslims praying early in the morning as the sun is just starting to peak as well. So there's
anyone
a
who
mix.
looks like they would be like a caretaker or a priest or any holy people that are in there.
Not at this time. You see massive statues around the room. None of them strike you right away with what your particular faith is, or
Okay.
for want of a better
There's
word.
no dominant structure or
Okay.
anything. It's just
There's a mix.
Okay.
I mean, you could tell you've crossed Europe. There's a lot of Christian, but for want of a better word, they're more icons than statues. That just from your smattering of knowledge, you would know from the Orthodox a little bit about the Orthodox faith, nothing in depth. But that rather than statues venerating particular saints or the deities or what have you, not deities, God, they tend to be more gold encrusted paintings and gem encrusted and mosaics and what have you. It's just a slightly different perspective on how to visualize
Gotcha.
So
I
much,
kinda
Does that make
so
sense?
much wealth makes you wonder why they do what they do.
I just kind of wander off in amazement, just kind of like looking at
And
the
it is.
statues
It's
and
just you could literally
kinda
wander
just get
from
distracted, just
corner
kinda
to
looking
corner and
around.
just be stunned.
I'm just gonna wait and just find a place to just maybe just sit back or just however people are kneeling. I don't know what the inside looks like. People are kneeling or sitting. I'm just gonna find a place and I'm just gonna be patient for a while. Just gonna see what happens.
Okay. What do? You continue to wander around?
Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of walk around each statue, kind of just check it out, and I mean, it's got to be pretty impressive to see.
It
in
is.
person.
I mean, it's all your perspective, of course, but
yeah,
it probably would be, especially for somebody from the wilds of the.
We don't build statues.
They do, but they're
not like that.
Different.
Yeah.
It's not that they're
So
crude.
I
they're
kind
just
of walk
different.
around. I'll kind of walk around, check the place out.
Yep. What are you doing?
Kip is visibly uncomfortable.
Okay. I'll bite.
Just be patient,
Off
kid.
the record, why?
I mean, besides the massive size and the visible wealth of everything, and Kip is not a religious person.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think from where Kip comes from, I think he's still in that mindset of like he believes in fairies and he believes in that type of stuff. I mean, I haven't really written into his backstory and stuff, but I imagine that Christianity is trying to break into where he's from, and like his village area probably hasn't really accepted it just yet. I think that kind of fits with what you sent me as well a little bit. So.
Okay.
I was looking for any references as well to like maybe the Roman Empire, like Holy Roman Empire. Like
to the Holy Roman Empire. Roll an investigation check.
If
Oh,
there
I'm
are
gonna
any
use one of these for this.
references to it, then it's probably as those German idiots think they're better than us.
Keep eating? Can I keep eating?
Wow.
That's a 10. That's not bad.
You got 1,000 of them.
All right, nice. 17.
Get rid of them. I don't know what he's rolling for. I'm just trying to get him to use the inspiration token.
Yeah, he just wants me to use them.
Or does he? There doesn't seem to be anything in particular. I mean, there are some images of some saints that are clearly Germanic type saints, and you can clearly discern them. Well, not clearly. After some investigation, you discern them just by the style. They tend to be not to be stereotypical, but fixated on prowess of military prowess and what have you, and what they did to defend their lands, and, as opposed to perhaps a different style.
Okay. Just gonna sit back and just think about my family for a little while.
Okay. The morning passes unless you guys do anything else at that moment. Okay, you're back in the palace, but you can do something if you want, unless you're otherwise.
Sorry, that's my bad.
I'm going to use the sending.
Okay.
I'm going to send to Dumacos.
Okay.
I will say, my lord, I apologize for interrupting. I have news from Turkey. The Ghazi is unnatural. He drinks the blood of his subjects and still wishes to to engage with our kingdom.
Your message cuts off.
All right.
Less than a few moments later, you hear.
Who's this? What up?
How'd you get my number?
Your phone, who dis?
What dial?
Who dis?
Who this?
You got the wrong guy.
I thought I'd been keeping good track. Dang it.
Matthias,
Oh boy.
these are trying times. Civil war is tearing Carpathia apart.
Wait, he works for that?
It is time for all loyal nobles to rally to the crown and take to the field.
The message cuts off.
Oh dear.
Did I go over?
I don't think so.
I think you hit it right on the number.
Yeah. That seemed positive, though.
Yeah.
Happiest place on earth.
Time to wage war. He's on board.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I need.
War is heck. War is change.
You're gonna wear these beardy rings.
I am your destroyer. I am the podcast.
Dang it, I don't know what to do.
You don't have to do anything yet, Matthias.
You don't have to do anything.
That's up to you, man. You got some
You
more.
can just wait. Think about it.
Should answer.
Let it brew.
Nah, dude, forget that guy. Send a message to somebody else. He needs skulls. How many skulls you got?
I have one more.
Yeah, think
Oh,
about it
man.
first. Think about it. That's what I would do.
We'll come back to you. The rest of you wake up. What are you doing? Anything?
I ate breakfast. I go to the
I didn't wake up.
Hippodrome. What?
You did not wake up.
You
I
did.
never went to sleep.
I
You
died.
never went to sleep.
You're gonna take exhaustion, huh?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Makes sense.
He drank too much coffee.
Going into a chariot.
Theodore, for those of you who are still there, Theodore Medikites, Irene de Montferrand, and her son Demetrios Paleologos, Stefan Dekonsky, and Nicodema Peck all come strolling into the area, the common area. Good morning, says Theodore.
Where would I be?
You're there,
Okay.
unless you say otherwise. You're there.
No, I'm
Good morning, Matthias. You look somewhat disturbed.
I made use of one of the gifts you gave me. There is something that has come up. I do not wish to burden you with it.
Very well. Well, if there's a way that we can help, if we can help, please let us know. Our relationship with Carpathia is very important.
Thank you. If there is, I will try to make it known.
Very well. If you would like to follow me if you had your fill, where's the rest of your party?
Well, I'm at the library.
I'm sorry? Or you're at the library?
I'm at the library.
There's only two of you, three of you.
I'm still in the room.
There's only two of you. Where's the rest of your party, Matthias?
I don't know, to
Yeah,
be
very
honest.
Morning stroll.
Well,
Pip pip.
I will come back then, unless you desire otherwise, and then we'll take you toward the Hippodrome.
What time of the race is starting? Did we know?
They
They
told
should
us.
be
They told us over there.
fairly soon when the sun is about, right about there.
Yes.
I.
Right about their time. Got it.
So who is it? Who's in the room?
When the shadow
I think
is
I'm
right
there.
here.
From our party, that is.
So we would know that we have to get
Just
back.
Jumnus.
Yeah, I'm going
Just
straight
jump.
to the
It's like
Hippodrome
Jumnus.
from where we're at because it wasn't that far away.
Jumnus and
Whoa,
Matthias,
dude.
and
Whoa.
that's it.
Me and Louvier are at the library.
Whoa.
The others went to the temple,
me,
so it's
Charlotte.
just
The
you
two
and
of you.
Jumnus.
Yeah. I don't know where anybody else is. I'm sure some of them may be still at the library. There's a lot of books. I don't know.
Once I get close to the time, I'm gonna head to the Hippodrome, right from the temple. So
I'm sorry?
We got to converge
May I
with that.
speak to you for a moment, Jobless?
Yes. Yes, you may.
I made contact with Domokos, the doorkeeper in Buda.
Yeah. Yes.
That guy?
I was attempting to inform them of the situation regarding the Ghazi.
Mm-hmm.
In reply, I received word that Carpathia is racked by civil war, and what was all but an order to take up arms and return to my homeland to fight for my king.
Huh.
It's nice knowing.
Have fun with that.
Regulators? No.
Regulator, let's ride. Yeah, is that all the information you were able to glean? Is Civil War?
I have not used. I have one more scroll that I can use, but I do not know what to use it for. I could send to Domokos again with a reply, or asking for more information, or I could send the same information to another of our contacts, or I could save it for later. But then there is still the issue of.
Oh wait, what's behind door number 3?
My oath to my king, and how that would impact my own place in this party and where we would be going next.
Right. It sounds like this is possibly the work of the rat hole.
It's possible.
This, according to what we know, this seems to align with his goals. To sow disorder in Carpathia and literally create civil war, I think was his actual, or their actual goal. I'm sorry, I forgot to, I don't remember if I asked this. Do we know the Byzantines' intentions with the Ottoman Empire at this point? Did I ask that already? Do they plan on waging war? That is?
I don't think we asked them.
Oh. That would, if there were these forces holding Osman Ghazi at bay, I would feel better about taking time to add extra steps to our quest.
We could ask Theodore, I suppose.
Yes, is Theodore here?
Theodore is there. Yes. What is it you?
You guys going to work?
Yeah. Hey, you going to work?
What can I help?
I know you just learned of this information yesterday at dinner. I received news that Ottoman force, across the little, where in the Koroglu Mountains, would that be part of the Byzantine Empire, or is that still the Turkish area?
Byzantine.
Oh, so that would be like in each box. Okay, cool. So I will say that then, knowing that, I believe that there are Turks, Ottoman Turks, military forces patrolling the Koroglu Mountains, possibly even marching this way. I learned through divine means. Given this and the news of Osman Ghazi's status and the current relations between him and us, and by association the Hungarian Empire, does the council have plans for military action in retaliation, or something of that nature?
Theodore said, military action against the Ottomans.
Yes.
We're at war with.
Oh, like that's open. We know that.
There's besieging Bursa.
Oh, right. Yeah, I did know that.
Which is at one of our cities.
Yeah.
But that's news that there are troops in the Caribbeans.
Yes.
If there's anything else like that that you can pass along, I will. I'm not a military advisor, but I will pass it along. That's some news like that sometimes takes a while to get to us. And, it's quite valuable, and if there's anything we can do to compensate for such knowledge, we'll do so.
I'm just.
Might I ask how you came to such knowledge?
We have friends passing through the mountains.
Well, I hope they fare well.
So as do I.
There are horrible stories that we've heard from the cities that have been captured.
Yes. Well, knowing what I already knew about open war, I don't know if it's possible to, build up to do more. I don't know, double your forces or something. But I feel comfortable knowing such.
We are hiring as many mercenaries as we possibly can. I'm not one to speak for the Emperor. Please don't misinterpret what I'm telling you. The Catalan company who we had hired to help defend the Empire then turned against us. And this is not knowledge that I am sharing that is secret. It is readily available. The Ottomans, whatever I understand you're from another nation, and perhaps not Carpathia, but the horrors that they inflict after their soldiers take a city, they are given 3 days to pillage and do as they will with the residents of any such city before it is turned over to the bazaar or to their bayou. And in those 3 days, men can inflict many horrors upon a population.
It only takes a second. Yeah, I mean, I don't need to tell you to be wary of mercenaries.
Yes, but we don't have a lot of troops.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you.
So alliances and mercenaries are what we rely upon. But it's slightly out of my lane. Matthias, is there anything else we can help you with in that?
I'm not entirely sure. There's some sort of conflict going on in Carpathia right now, and I only just got word of it. I don't know why it's happening, who the combatants are. I'm not sure. I just don't know.
Well, I hope it fares well for you. And selfishly, I hope it fares well for us. Unless you do otherwise, he starts to escort you down a long corridor.
Sure. I'll tell Matthias if I think we need to, using the maps we have in the library and building our own map, we can chart our path. I'm not entirely opposed to returning to Hungary, assuming we'd be fairly safe. I know we can handle ourselves for the most part.
For the most part.
If we go back, though, I won't leave until James Borse is dead. Or at least we get to the bottom of that conspiracy.
I would like to see some closure regarding that as well. If we can find some way to find out how to bring the Rabbit Man to justice, I support that.
Okay, as long as that's one of our primary goals as well, I have no problem putting that on in our path.
Thank you.
Well, let's go chariot race.
Okay. Go ahead.
To the race.
Shall I send back to Domokos with the answer that we will be coming? Or should we wait until we've discussed it with the rest of the party?
I think we should decide what we do. That's sending messages like that is very powerful magic. It's very taxing on magical sources. So I mean that might be something we just want to keep in our pocket anyway. And then perhaps I mean, do we know who Damocles would even be aligned with in this civil war? Perhaps them not knowing when we arrive would be a benefit to our party.
Perhaps.
So I think we discussed.
But I still have the second scroll.
Yes.
Should I just keep it?
Yes, that's what I think would be best for now. Until we discuss.
All right.
Okay. The remaining party, Matthias, Jumnus, and
Hello.
oh, he's in the library. He's in the library.
Oh.
The two of you are in the library, right?
Yes.
What are you doing in the library, Louvier?
I'm huddled in the corner on my bed with my rapier out, just kind of like
in the library.
In the library with your bed?
You made a bed of books? Bed of scrolls?
Did we not have rooms in the library? Where did we?
No, we have rooms in the palace.
Oh, then I'm in the palace.
Oh, okay. So you're with them.
Oh, so you probably would have woken up and come to where we were.
Well, I didn't leave my room.
There's safety numbers. Remember that. There's safety numbers.
So you're huddled in a corner of the library. You found a dark corner.
Sure.
And you could have shut your eyes if you wanted to, but you didn't have to. And you sat there all night, much like your picture with your knife right under your chin. I need to reposition that. Anyway, so what are you doing now? Are you...
Well, once
what are you doing in the
time,
library?
I was continuing my research.
Okay, you
with the
continue.
other man.
You find volumes of information. There's literally so much information, and you were searching on the goddess or
the creature.
The creature, rather, with the upper body of a woman and the lower body of a goat in Eastern religion.
The creature that Frederick mentioned.
Yes.
Was related to the crystal.
Yes.
Can't wait to make a clip of that. Do a little video clip.
Some acolytes are helping you, but the problem they're having is narrowing down.
Yeah, that's why I'm helping, and I'm gonna stay there until it's time for us to go to the Chariot race.
You come across something, but it just doesn't make any sense at all.
Okay.
You come across several references to this goddess that was fascinated with frogs.
Fascinated with frogs.
I didn't sign up.
Does she have gold and have?
Yeah, she. But there's so many that meet that type of description.
Well, every information is useful information. Even if I haven't found her yet, I'm still learning. So that's my thought process. I'm a religious guy.
What's your take on frogs?
My take on frogs?
Not Eli's. Not that I don't care what Eli's is, but
well, I lived in France for a while, so they make good meals.
Anyway,
right, Louis? Frogs, they
Oui.
make good meals,
Yeah.
right?
The frogs, the escargots, the baguette.
You see?
jambon et fromage avec un rouge.
Occasionally you will enjoy a ganache.
Okay, so
Yes,
you see
learn that.
Jumnus and Matthias walking past the library door.
So I'll excuse me, and I'll tell the helpers I'm gonna join my friends and the Emperor in the Chariot race now.
Yes. We'll keep looking, sir.
Thank you.
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm gonna. So I see them. Is what you're saying?
You do, but it's up to you what you do.
Yeah. If it's clear that they're leaving, I'm gonna get up and like hurry over and be like, "Let's go." And I've got very like dark bags under my eyes, and I'm like, "I'm ready for the Chariot race."
Are you okay? You had a long night studying?
Yes. This.
Alright.
study.
You're not on my team. He's on guard duty.
You hear it sounds.
He's on guard duty.
Okay, so you make your way. Collectively, the party is taken through a passage. You clearly discern that this is a special passage that leads someplace, and that only specific members of the imperial family might use. It connects the Kathisma, or if you will, the emperor's lodgings, to the eastern end of the track. You make your way through, and you continue to make your way through, and eventually you can start to hear the rush of the sound inside the Hippodrome itself. It's almost as if you were walking into the stadium, and you can hear the crowds about, and you're taken into a large area. And in that large area, you happen to note Canistra and several of the others standing about. And they're, good morning to you, good morning to you. Where's the rest of your party?
They had some business in the city. He will be back.
Don't know that.
Oh.
We could have been kidnapped.
He's just good at making excuses for us. He knows.
Exiting the tunnel, you note a somewhat U-shaped hippodrome is
You guys
packed.
don't know
It's
us at all.
already
I
packed.
think we were kidnapped.
Yeah, we went there before, right?
Yes, you did, but it wasn't filled with individuals.
But now it's...
Who wants the 74 minute?
It seems as though several races have already started, almost like kind of pre-entertainment, if you will. People are coming in, some are going out. The place is packed with all manner of humanity. Thousands upon thousands of spectators fill the arena. Perhaps upwards of 100,000. It is jammed.
Just listen to all those spectators.
The noise level, once you get out inside, if you've ever been inside such a large stadium, it's actually deafening.
Oh yeah.
At one end, you note that there are the Hippodrome box where you are. It appears as though several statues have been ripped off the top of it and have been taken away. Almost as though there's some platform for where there were once former statues. The track itself is filled with, this is just representative of what you see. The island, or the splina in the center, is actually lined with a myriad of statues, some gilded in copper at the top. At the northern end, there's what they call the splendome, a large pillar that looks much like our Washington's monument, if you will. The track is lined with other bronze statues of famous horses and chariot drivers. The Hippodrome is filled with statues of gods, emperors, and heroes, among some of the famous works, such as Hercules, Romulus, Remus, with their wolf,
of the audience
and
is
the
from
serpent
excitement.
column of Plantine. Purple hangings and rare tapestries are around the royal box, which you are now entering. Canistra sits there and makes idle talk with you. So are you ready to race then?
Not me. Who?
I am racing. Mattias is racing.
Yes.
Did you guys join us?
Right? Are you racing Mattias?
Did they join us?
Not yet. They're working. How are you? Where are you?
Yeah,
come
well,
back to you.
I was hoping to try
Where
to get
are
there.
you guys?
Yeah. So when we're gonna head back to the Hippodrome, right? And we're gonna make our way to security or the guards and let them know that we've arrived for the chariot races and that we were detailed with protecting the emperor.
You're given kind of, as you might suspect, someone coming to the front of Giant Stadium. Just a rigmarole of a roundabout and misguided direction this way and that way and in every which way until you eventually give up. You make your way back out again, you make your way toward the palace, and you meander through, and somebody finally guides you in the direction you need to go because you're just frustrated beyond imagination. You're like, ugh. But you realize they were also doing their job. They're not supposed to guide somebody up.
I was
to see
expecting
that.
I wasn't expecting them to be able to go from the palace all the way to the Hippodrome. I figured we would see them like
no
the
reason
emperor
why
make
you would
their
know that.
entrance. So yeah.
No, there was no reason you would know. There's a secret passageway from one to the other. the conversation gets kind of dull, and all of a sudden you see Borin and
Kip and
Balder meandering in, and the group is, unless I'm mistaken, suddenly all together there, chit-chatting with Canistra. And he says to you...
sounds like Street Fighter.
What?
There's a weird sound coming out from...
It's okay. Let's not worry about this.
There's nothing I can do about it now. It's too much.
Also, do we have... would it be safe to assume that Argam and Virexen are with us as well?
Yes. Yes, it is. Argam, Virexen,
Where's that?
yes.
I think that's...
Where's that at?
That would be
Other
it.
than Oda is the only other party member. She's on the boat. She wouldn't be here.
She probably wouldn't have come.
No.
Nor
Yeah,
would
it's
the
a
agent
tradition
necessarily
to
have
do
gone there.
When you try
the
to
agents,
you give her
BBC,
one
if you
people.
will.
Yeah.
So,
Because people...
okay. While you're standing there, another individual starts to walk in, and Canistra, all of a sudden, everyone grows silent. And all seem to bow simultaneously. The individual is, he's chatting with someone else. He very humbly bows in return, and then makes his way toward a... Kip, can I just put that down at the far end? There you go. Right, yeah, right where that...
Oh, I just killed the Emperor.
You killed the Emperor.
Palpatine.
Everything that has transpired.
The individual you clearly recognize as the Emperor because you have seen him before.
Yes.
And some of the others have as well. He takes a seat on the throne, and the others graciously rise from their bow. The Emperor says, Irene, my beautiful wife. I was initially somewhat reticent regarding this event.
Okay, let's get rid of the cards.
However, after discussing the races with Canistra, I think the idea has grown on me. Smiling, bowing to the Emperor and turning to the party, Canistra says, as of now, your Emperor permitting, I have planned 2 races for your party. There are, of course, other events going on. If you're amenable.
Yes.
From your party,
I think so.
In teams of 2, rather, from your party, in teams of 2, will race against another team of 2 in the first of your party's races. And that should permit enough of you to do your other duties, if you will, in agreement with Irene. I have to admit, I was rather surprised. There has been much talk about a contest between Jumnus and Giedens Nakneo and Norske Gieden.
I feel like that's just like
God
I
bless
said
you.
last time.
Well done. Thank you. So, in the second race, Jumnus, if you have no objection, you will race against Gorske and Norske, and with one other of your choosing.
Okay. In the second race.
Yes, in the second race.
Sure.
Is that amenable to you?
Absolutely.
And so, some of the others here will escort you, those of you racing in the first race, which is 4 of you of your choosing, other than Jumnus and whoever he's racing with, and to race in that first race. And then once we can work you into the race, they will suddenly occur. You hear all types of manner of noise going on out on the tracks themselves, the sound of the crowds. There you can see races currently going on.
So you're gonna have to choose a second.
So I guess I have a partner.
You're gonna sit for this first race,
and I'm gonna sit out the first race. Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously you and Thaddeus would be make the most sense for your, because of your main event or your wager that they're putting the most stock in, right?
I have the huge bet, and Kip also has a bet. I don't think Marius has any.
Yeah, but you need a partner that's going to get you across the finish line.
Yeah. Marius, do you would you like to be my team teammate, for the race with everything on the line?
Sure.
Excellent. So Mattias and I will be. We're gonna sit out the first race. We'll guard the Emperor, and then we'll race for the second race.
Okay.
Will you drive or shall I?
We'll each have our own chariot.
So who am I racing?
Ah.
I don't know yet. We have to decide that stuff.
Who is racing in the first race is the most important question I have. I know there are 4 of you, and we'll escort you down,
It
but
was
I'm
supposed to be
so
you and
excited by
Dylan,
it.
but he's not.
Says Canistra.
Because I'm racing for.
It would be
his
really,
age.
really very
His
impressive.
age.
If a venerable senior citizen were to race, but I'm not, you don't have to, sir.
It's wisdom. I don't know who has high wisdom.
That's mitigating. Who has high mitigating?
No, I mean, you would know who's good at animal handling, right?
I do have animal handling.
You do?
Let me check.
Okay, so you should be racing.
Well,
That's
I
up
guess
to you guys.
I'll race in the first one. Why not? A little bit of fun.
I'm gonna be
Okay,
on
well,
guard
we
duty
need
for
just-
race 1. So.
Okay.
Well, he said he need 4 people.
He has
for the
animal
first
Is
one.
me and
handling,
Balder?
then He's better at racing than me.
Okay, so you two and
I'm not negative 1.
I got 0.
them two and you. Well, Virexon was going to race. I know
Yeah.
Dylan said he wanted to
I'm
race.
gonna need this.
Okay.
I'll race in the first
You
one.
could race with our
I'll
game.
race with you.
Or with Warren. It'd be
Yeah.
like a bit of like a team bonding exercise for you.
No, it's gonna be a brawl.
Okay.
I'm gonna. It's
But I
okay.
actually have like good animal handling, so like I kind
But
of.
the problem is, I have to get across the line
So,
with you as well.
what's your name?
Shalom.
Shalom.
So
And
you
who's
can
your,
hang
are you
back.
racing?
But shouldn't
Do
I
some
race with
And who's your
Shalom
partner?
then?
That's what I
It's
was
gonna
saying.
be
but
my-
he-
No,
Father here.
no, Shalom.
Balder.
Shalom. I should be racing with you.
I
If
mean,
we actually want
I'm
to try
sorry,
and
I'll
win.
step away.
Yeah.
sorry, there's.
Canistra steps
We
away.
should have discussed this ahead of time.
Well, I thought
We
we
did.
I thought we
We
did.
did. but it
Because
just changed.
Wait, is
saying
this a-
Because
is this
things have changed.
Is this
All the
teams
time.
or
You
are
should
we
be
all
good
on a
at racing.
chariot?
Yeah.
You can
teams
hang
of
back,
2.
pick people
2
off with
chariots.
bow and magic.
So we need to partner
help
up people without
Warren
animal
or
handling.
somebody else.
Oh no, you have
Okay.
separate
So
chariots.
we're gonna race.
And then
Same
you
do it.
close
Chariot,
the gap.
yeah, chariot.
Okay.
So
Do
it
it.
doesn't
Let's
matter.
do it. Whatever. We're gonna race.
But you're
together.
in a team of 2.
All right.
All right. Whatever. It
Yes.
doesn't even matter. Let's just.
We
I don't know,
have we are in separate.
No, it's up to you guys.
chariots.
Yeah. Or
But like,
I'm gonna say to Kip, Kip,
we got
Kip,
this.
I
I'm gonna
believe
race
you
with you.
block the other guys.
It's gonna be a brawl.
I don't even know what I'm doing.
It's not gonna be
Because
pretty.
you have the animal handling. So I
But
don't
we're
know.
gonna, we're gonna get across that finish line
Alright.
together.
Let's do it.
Also, you don't have to win. You just have to race.
Let's do it.
I didn't have to win. I know I had to turn in my. I had to turn in my winnings.
Yeah, but you don't have to win anything. Whatever your
I had
winnings
to
would be.
forfeit my winnings.
Yeah.
So don't I have to win to have winnings?
Yeah.
I guess you got a place, but
No, I think she said your deal with her, kind of out of game in your
Yeah.
head. But she said to you that she's taking a risk that you may not win anything.
Okay, I thought I had to forfeit my winnings, so I
You
just
do.
assumed that I had
You
to
do
win.
forfeit
If you
your
win.
winnings.
Yeah,
But she said she's taking a risk.
but then
You may
again,
win
if
nothing.
he wins, I guess he could forfeit his winnings and get his age down too. So
Well, she agreed to take care of his age issue either way, if
Okay.
I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go with
That
that.
was
Yeah,
a-
that sounds good.
That was
Sound-
a non.
Yep,
That
sold.
was the agreement.
Yep,
That was a
sounds good.
That was the deal.
non-issue.
I remember it clearly.
Okay.
It's so much different than just in a picture.
What is?
all the color
cards.
coded and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, that's super cool.
That's not
Alright.
Ah, he's out of the race. Nope, he's out.
So Borinth is me and Maddie.
Ben Hur is out.
So hold on.
I guess that
That's
we're
like
not protecting
the-
the
You
emperor.
guys have even
It's like the
more
D&D
of an
equivalent of
Yeah.
like, oh, it can't scan, it must be free.
Yeah, no, yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
you can protect the
Well, yeah,
emperor.
there's all kinds of crazy stuff.
I got him.
Okay, and throughout all the chaos, there are multiple races going on. The first race that you guys are racing in, Shalom and Balder, are a team. Which one of you have a choice? One of you has a choice of the first row, and one of you has a choice of the second row. Roll a d4, whoever's in the first row.
I'm in the first row.
You're in the first row. Where's
One.
Shalom? Hand me a,
Kip?
a one.
Oh, sorry.
Hand me Shalom, please.
Does he have both? What's,
You want me to be-
Shalom is on the inside.
does it matter? What's the difference?
I have no idea what's going on.
Are we all
It's
racing at the
just
same
place.
Oh, just replace it.
Just placement.
Yeah, I'll be in the
That's a
back.
good spot.
Okay.
Okay, and Balder, roll a d4.
I'll be in the back.
Two.
Yeah.
2. You are in the second from the inside. And then Kip, you are with who?
I'm with Borinth. So I'll be.
Borinth.
I
And
rolled
so
a three.
Borinth, a Kip roll. You want the first row or the second row?
I'm gonna take the first row.
Okay,
Kip's
so
gonna take the
Kip
second
roll
row.
a d4.
Oh, okay. I don't know why that went over there.
You
That's a
roll
3.
3.
Oh, that's exactly what I
Because
rolled.
you're in there.
So you and Borinth roll a d4.
I did already, I rolled a
rolled 3.
Which
Okay.
is actually the open one anyway.
So, and Borinth, you were there. Awesome.
There's a fancy guy
Oh
there.
boy. I'm just gonna trot the whole way.
Huh?
That's how I roll.
Wait. Oh, I forgot the
Not
rules.
even ask for my help.
All 4 of
Slow
you.
and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady.
Sorry.
The
What
chaos
have you
of
done?
the arena. It is absolutely deafening. You guys got the gist of it. To the finish line is in front of the Emperor, so the start line is actually in front of the Emperor. It's almost a trot up to the Emperor, but you can basically, it's every man for themselves from the get-go. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So you go all the way around and then 1 quarter further because the Emperor wants to see and ultimately gets the say of who is the victor. Everyone,
Whatever you're gonna do, okay.
everyone, roll a wisdom save.
Oh
Oh
boy.
wait! Before we go out there, before we go out there,
right out the gate.
I want to say to Jomnus,
Yes. Hello.
is there any words or
Hopefully I keep doing
blessings that you can give us that will
Yes, my children.
warrant some?
Come,
My children.
everyone. Huddle up.
You all huddle up.
I will cast. How many?
Break.
There's what? 4 racers?
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cast Blessed 2nd level. Oh no, it only lasts for a minute.
Oh,
That's
don't worry
conveniently
about
how
that.
long it takes to race.
No,
It's all right.
no, but it's gonna. I have a range of 30 feet. You guys, it's gonna take you more than a minute to get down
Yeah,
there.
don't worry
and get
about it.
started,
Don't worry about it.
Before,
You know what?
before you do that,
I'll do it when you guys come around.
Okay.
I got you. I'm ready.
I'm gonna pray before.
Okay. So what are we rolling? Sorry, we're rolling a wisdom check. You said.
yes, I did. But before you do that, I'm sorry.
All right.
So you wanted to do something together before you did that.
Well, no, we
No,
We're done.
plans have changed.
Okay, disregard.
Sorry.
Plans have
Yes.
changed.
Before that, when I get in my chariot, I want to touch both my horses and cast Longstrider.
Okay, help me out. What is long strider?
Longstrider is it increases the speed of my animal by 10 feet.
Ooh, nice. Very cool. Very swift.
Both of them. So I don't know if that matters.
Well, I mean,
So it should make them equal. So like
Yes.
one's not faster than the other. So I have to cast that.
Well, you
second
are
level
going
to
in a
do that.
circle.
Yeah, but I just don't want like one dragging the other.
Just
you know.
make the outside one faster. It'll even out.
Yeah.
Right. Just for the record.
Okay. What do we got?
Rolling a wisdom check.
Yes, please do.
Wisdom check or save?
The save. Thank you.
Oh, it's save.
What's the difference? That means
Save
somebody's
it.
doing magic on you.
You see the crowd is jammed. The stadium
save it,
is
Bill.
jammed
Save
with
it.
people. You see people with weapons. You see people machinating like this. You know that lots of money is being exchanged on this.
I rolled a 12.
You rolled a 12. Okay.
15.
You rolled a 15. Roll a 1d4. Warren.
Thomas.
Okay.
That's a
Sorry.
4.
A 4.
So that was a 20.
Oh, sorry.
What'd you roll?
15.
15.
Use an inspiration. I'm happy.
I don't. I mean, whatever you want to do, but just throw that out, man.
Can you use
Wait.
inspiration on my save?
And what'd you roll?
A 20.
20.
Non-natural.
Okay. Who else is in the race? Boulder, what'd you roll?
17.
17. No, you're good. Okay.
So people that aren't racing have to make the saving throws also?
No,
No, okay.
not on this one. So you're not racing, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you're up in the top. And Goods Neo and Giedens. Giedens is up there with you. And he says to Dumnus, I am looking forward to our race. Aren't you?
Who said this?
Goods Neo. Don't you recognize me?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
What did you want?
I'm looking forward to our race.
A what race?
Yes.
Just looking forward to the race.
What are you making fun of me?
I'm not making fun of you. It was very funny, Alex.
Can I ask you a question?
Vanda Globen
Out of game? Sure. Is that, am I charmed?
It's a suggestion.
I am not the making fun of you.
Is suggestion a charm? Is suggestion a
This is
charm?
how ball
Creatures that can't be charmed are immune to this effect.
Are you immune?
Not right now.
Okay.
However,
It is my. Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so it's a charm effect.
Okay, that's all I need
Someone
to know.
has to tell me the suggestion, right? Someone has
That's
to
suggestion
speak.
right there. Yep.
I'm gonna get.
And who spoke that?
You hear it in your brain.
You hear it in your brain. You suspect it was somebody in the stands.
I hear it in my brain? Can that be done?
just go with it.
Sure.
DM ruling, go with it.
Okay. But what if it's something that I would never do?
Suggestion of course of activity limited to a sentence or two. Magical influence you can see within the range. You can hear and understand. Characters that can't be charmed or immune to this effect. The suggestion may be worded in such a manner as to make the course of action should be reasonable.
I'm
Is
gonna
it
go attack
reasonable?
him and accidentally bump into
Well,
somebody else.
Not
Yeah.
for a
Well,
Christian
It's
monk?
the Emperor's thing.
Well, you did this part. The beat is probably reasonable because you're
I
in
would
a
have to
competition.
stop.
You're in a competition.
But
I'll
if-
give
if-
you a
if-
second save.
If I...
I'll
the
give you
first
an
one-
advantage. How's that sound?
No, just...
I'm getting no. It's fair. It's reasonable. It's perfectly reasonable. I'll give you
Yep,
an
let's
advantage. Make a second roll.
Keep it rolling. I don't know what's going on.
I believe in you.
No.
Huh?
Still 50.
Okay. So
Yeah.
does that make sense? Is that fair? Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Just that...
Doesn't mean you can't still
What
try
happened?
to win.
What happened? That we're
He just got
No,
this.
it's
He got
because-
this wind of being really competitive.
okay.
No,
so,
not competitive.
Okay.
It's not competitive.
What is
Yes,
it?
it is.
It's violent.
Okay, so
And
You stab people all the time.
yeah, no,
Totally
that's,
violent.
yeah,
You're a
absolutely,
violent person.
totally believable.
I don't
talking
kill anyone.
Play it however you want.
You will kill them.
You can be violent without killing people.
Justify it however you want.
Play it
Also,
however
that's-
No,
have to be
I
justified
have
for
to kill
charm.
them.
I will
Play
say
it however you want.
That's what it says.
No,
I
it
have-
says it literally says beat unconscious.
It doesn't say
Or kill.
It doesn't say. It says what?
It's whatever your
Either
character
way,
would
if
do.
you're charmed,
All right,
it doesn't
I think
matter.
we beat this
Yeah.
horse
Gedens.
to death.
Okay,
Enough.
Gedens.
Roll.
Starts beating his own horse.
Here we go. Here we go.
Initiative. Woo! Advantage on initiative now.
The opponents have a 3.
Okay.
3.
Total.
I have
8. Lauren does an 8.
Even with
17.
advantage.
Balder has a 12.
17, 11, 12. Should the rest of us also roll initiative?
Sure. Actually, that's probably not a bad idea. Just in case.
Doing
Just in case a fireball happens.
Or somebody
tries to kill the
I got that natural one.
like Darth
Where
Vader.
is
Olivier, do you
Olivier?
want to just roll initiative? Just
Hello?
Olivier is back here.
Okay.
He's
You're
hiding.
up.
Okay.
You're up on this.
Yeah, sure.
Unless
Where are
you-
you?
He's back there
I'm
sniffing some
Protecting the
powder.
Emperor.
I'm hiding behind you.
Okay, roll initiative.
All right, solid red.
Solid red.
Critical 1.
Oh, same as me. So what's your dex mod?
My
Your-
dex
Or
mod?
your initiative mod.
Plus 4.
That's plus 4, so 5.
Rolls 100 d20 and just calls out a color.
All right.
The chance.
Shalom is
Someone
moving
figure out
first.
the chances on that one.
It's like, Marius, did you have an initiative roll?
No, he's not racing.
Yeah, but you know what? Roll it anyway. This one we just stick with.
What'd you say?
All right.
Not gonna work.
Stop.
Yeah, I know, but okay, well, whatever. All right. I mean,
What is it you wanted? What is it you were asking?
Sorry.
I mean, like, I'm gonna try to influence the race, so I rolled initiative. I don't know if you want to
Just
do the
roll
same.
anyway, please, just in case.
I'll roll.
Okay, and when
Shalom is first.
Shalom, and all of a sudden you hear a large. This gong suddenly ring.
Okay.
That's not a gong sound.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a gong.
That sounds like a swoosh.
It was actually a spell of a gong.
Push all the buttons.
And you are up.
That sounds like a whoosh.
Okay, so
So,
what are the terrain conditions?
Smooth.
So I had double my animal handling proficiency bonus, right?
Yes. Whatever. Yep. So go ahead and roll an animal handling check, and you can move. What are you moving at? A trot, a run, a sprint? Well, you got to start out as a.
Okay.
if you have proficiency,
Well,
you double it.
I have a suggestion, right?
So you double it.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna
You get a double.
So are you able to see this even with the camera?
I'm sorry?
Are you able to see this even with the camera? That's okay.
Perfectly.
Okay,
Yep.
just making sure.
Perfect. It's awesome. Thank you.
And if it's marked, you have it.
That doesn't sound good.
I'm gonna sprint.
Sounds like music.
So you do have it.
Drums, but
So you can double it.
very poorly made drums.
Which is 15.
I can't double it. I can
roll.
only chop.
I don't think
I'm
the
gonna go
speakers
for-
are
I'm
hooked
gonna
up
go for
correctly.
a
Because
run.
nothing's coming out of this
I don't
one.
know if I understand.
Doesn't matter.
What I like is that the penalty
We must
not
race.
so bad.
Yes, we
Okay.
must race.
There are more important
You get
things.
thrown off to the side.
15.
15.
Which is
Okay,
what
so
I
you,
needed for the
yep.
sprint.
Yep. Okay, so you take off. That is
And what I do, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna
It's like 100
go straight. I'm gonna slam to the next guy.
Okay, you slam into the chariot next to you.
I'm gonna because the idea is I'm gonna push him towards the other ones.
Okay. With
And
the
then
chariot.
just swerve back.
Okay, roll an animal handling check to do that then. With sure, just straight up for right now.
We got Mattias providing battle
15
music.
again.
15. Your
like,
chariot
crap, I didn't mute it.
slams into him. Roll a d6.
Admittedly, I didn't think you all would hear me.
No,
That is how microphones work.
Go on. You do 1 point of damage. You see splinters of the other chariot splinter off as you do that, and you can do your movement as well.
The chariot burst into flames.
What's his movement? How do you know?
You got what? 15 hexes?
Sprint. That's 15.
So
Yep.
does the
Sprinting?
sideways movement crashing in
Do
cost
you have to
anything?
decide what you're doing before you roll?
I didn't count
So
that.
1, 2.
I didn't think
Is
of
that
that.
what
So
Five, six,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I have to decide my
Chariot
movement.
makes a check based on the chariot hit points.
I don't know how we're doing.
So you have to choose.
I start by rolling.
Just move it.
If he's sprinting, does he have to make a check because
Yep,
he's
we'll
sprinting
do
at high
that.
speed?
Yep. Okay, and then roll a d12 random event.
I think it's
Well,
about
we need
that.
more dice.
Right?
No, I have
Right?
12 is like there.
I'm just kind of eyeballing it. What?
I've got a 12.
Yes, the good one.
12.
The
Cheers
good one.
from the audience. You get another 1d4 of movement. The audience goes wild. Ha! Zah!
2.
2. You move forward.
Two more
2
X's.
more. Make one last check because you're trying to go around a corner there, albeit at your very fast speed.
16.
16, no problem. You continue to make it around. Who's up next? Mattias is up. Baldur is on deck. Or rather, yeah, Mattias is not there. Baldur is on deck. Baldur, you're up.
Baldur, you're up.
You're up.
I thought he said I was on deck.
No,
You're up. You're up. I'm sorry, Mattias. Are you doing anything?
So do
Probably
I
not.
pick-
You're just watching, right?
Do I pick the
I'm just
movement?
watching.
Do I pick the movement before I roll it?
Sure.
What I want to do?
That is reasonable. Yes.
That passes the reasonable.
I'm gonna try and run. Why not?
Okay.
No.
Wow.
What'd you
A
roll?
1.
A 1.
Try to run.
Okay. Roll.
Just 10 hexes.
1d4, right?
Roll. Failure indicates roll 1d4 hexes. Right. 1 through 3, 4 through. What'd
I
you roll?
move 1 hex to the right.
You move 1 hex to the right.
Left.
Or wait.
Right or left?
Oh wait. I move
Might as well
1
try and sprint.
Oh.
left.
1 left. You
No, right. 1 right.
You slam into Kip. Do 1 roll a d6.
No.
Okay.
6.
6. You do 6 points of damage to Kip's chariot.
Okay, so I think you start with
I don't
50.
even know how.
Oh, so I keep track of that.
No, you. Yeah. 50.
Wherever you want. You can write it right on that sheet.
Yeah, we're at 50, right?
Yep, you're at 50. Make sense?
Okay.
And you're kind of like jammed in there. You can swerve your way out if you want. You can try to.
I'll grab it right now. I just wanted to write down.
Should I roll a random event?
Roll. Yep, roll a random event.
Hit points of the chariot?
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It should have been a
The hit points of
1d10,
the
but my
chariot.
bad.
No, that's the
It's
hit
good
points
enough
of
for
the
now.
chariot.
For what?
Never mind, for damage. But go
Did you
ahead.
bump the kill?
Oh no, I broke a leg.
Each horse has 30.
Oh,
Well,
what
we
happened?
should
It got
have
bumped?
horse hit points too then. Right?
Okay.
I broke a
Yeah.
leg.
You broke a leg on a horse.
Chariot immediately slows to half movement.
The horse
I
is
guess I
named,
cut
so
away
I
the
got
animal.
Okay. You reach up and you like. You
Useless
slam
horse.
into
Useless horse.
You're
supposed to be
like, get rid of this horse, and the one horse takes off bolting.
And Lou.
Okay.
You're supposed to be my helper. What's
This is a good
happening?
start. This is a good start.
Good start. Okay, that was Boulder.
Who
Kip.
let the 70-year-old man race?
Okay, so if I think I'm doing this right, then I'm gonna try and sprint.
Shouldn't you have a higher
I can
wisdom?
double my animal handling check. Right?
Yep.
So that'll be 16.
You make it.
So that's 24. So I make that, right?
Yep.
So then what?
So then you move that many spaces.
So I move.
Yep. You weave your way in between them. Move him. How many?
What's that? 15, right?
15. Yep.
So he should be right about here somewhere because I'm by minus his extra 2 or whatever they got. So
yeah, I guess right there.
Okay, roll a random effect.
So that's the 12, right? A D12.
Yes, a D12.
So that's a 8.
Oh,
8.
that sucks for you.
Animal broke a leg. You slow to half movement.
So, actually, so how does the long strider affect any of this? It was target speed increased by 10.
So you got another 2 hexes.
Another 2 hexes. So that should bring me right up to him.
Okay.
Is what he got. So then I broke because he had 15 plus 2, right?
Yeah, but he was one. He was
So I
also
think you're
in
back
the first
about
round.
2.
So
you
you're right.
would be
You are
right touching him.
I'd be like that.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
You are
so
in
then
the
I
beat,
broke a
you
leg,
make
which
a meter
means
turn.
Well, if you read it, it says now you're immediately slows to half movement, but you can cut away the horse with your action to try and continue because you haven't done your action.
Can we do inspiration to switch events?
5 of a sprint, but then it says if it's a
Oh,
sprint.
is there a way to is there a way to heal
But
this
shouldn't
or
that be
mend
over
it?
the 5
A heal a leg, or is this like permanent?
Do you have a way of doing it?
I have. I mean, I have like cure wounds.
Sure, go for it.
So I can cast cure wounds. I'm gonna cast cure wounds.
Do you have to touch it or?
Cure wounds is touch.
Okay, so you're gonna try and reach out. Just do an acrobatics check.
Because you're going so fast. So you have to make the handling check.
So it's 15.
15. You manage to reach out. You're stumbling along, and you reach. You gotta grab the back of the chariot, and you grab hold of the rail, and you reach up and you touch its butt.
Ew.
Thick.
Thick.
So it's 1d8. Where's my 8?
See, I'm down a horse. I'm faster now.
So that's 3 points of.
You see the horse's leg, it's started to shatter, and then it just goes, and there's a huge lump of some kind of material in the bone that it just allows it to continue to move on again. So you're back to normal.
Oh, nice.
Kip, Borinth, you're up in the stadium, correct? Or no, where are you?
I'm
okay,
I'm
right
here.
there. You are up.
That's cool.
I don't know what to do.
Roll. Well, first, how fast do you want to go? Trot,
well,
run, or sprint?
Run.
Run. Roll a DC, and then add your animal handling or wisdom. Where's the characters? So you would get a plus or
17.
minus 1 rather.
So it's 17.
17. You manage. Okay, so you can go your full movement. 15 hexes.
10.
I'm sorry. You're going run. I'm sorry. 10. You're correct. 10 hexes.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. Roll a random event. Roll a d12.
D12, you said?
Yes, I
So
did.
the chariot should just be moving 10 feet further.
Is it 11?
11 boos from the audience. You subtract d4 movement. Roll 1d4.
Boo, you
Boo!
That
guy's too muscular.
Go back one.
Racist.
Okay, that was boring. Olivier, you're up. Are you doing anything?
You can turn.
You laying down?
You can do something if you have your actions if you want.
Do have my action.
Albeit at disadvantage when you're
Every
handling
3
the
you can
animal at
do
the same
1.
time.
So at 10 he could do 3.
But if you get advantage,
3
you get
degrees.
it balances itself out.
Well, you know.
Okay, no.
Okay, you do nothing. Olivier, are you
sides
doing
of the
anything?
Am I allowed to interfere in the race? Is
Of
that
course you
legal?
are.
Nope.
Well,
not
it's
allowed.
not.
You can, but it may be frowned upon, I believe.
Like if I were
definitely
to
not
shoot
frowned
one of the
upon.
horses
With what?
a crossbow.
Totally
You
allowed.
suspect that you don't see any, but you see all types of people with weapons and so forth in the audience. You glance around, and it's almost as
have the
though
charms,
somebody's
too.
waiting for somebody else
Almost like need
to
reasons
create
to
the
know.
chaos.
Does
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Imagine going to
Everyone's just like
a soccer game in certain parts of
I
the
should
world.
have just I heard the crowd boo.
I want a riot, but I'm not gonna start a riot.
He pushes him and he's like, hey,
Alright,
this
I'll
hurt
do that
my
one
feelings.
next
I was
time.
like, oh, I thought it was good first.
Chariot.
Do you know how to start a riot? Yeah,
That's
sure.
you.
Hey, let's riot!
Ah! This is what I've been waiting for.
Okay, can I... which
That's our fast board.
Which one is the guy in the front that's our opponent?
He's like,
No,
whoa!
all of these are our guys.
yeah.
The opponents will be
Well, and
almost
this
last.
is one of your guys too.
Yeah.
So these
Yeah.
4.
Yeah, I'm the guy with the broken leg, missing a horse.
Okay.
You didn't even move at all?
Horseless?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't move at all?
Nope.
No. He fell immediately.
So if you cut your horse
And
loose,
broke a
then-
leg from hitting Kip's horse.
Yeah, right? Oh man, it just got caught.
So when you cut your horse loose, what
just lose a
Nothing.
horse.
I'm just back to normal again.
does it make you slower?
No, I cut the dead weight off.
Okay, so I would argue that
dead
this
weight
would
is
be a
what makes
sleight
it
of
slow.
hand, conceal my bow.
Okay,
I-
roll
You
it.
have one
I'll
less
go
horse
with
than
it.
you can
Roll
still
it.
go as fast.
And
I'm
I'm
more nimble now.
gonna hold my action for when one of them passes
Sure.
and make an attack.
2 horses.
roll.
Understood.
Overkill.
You're holding
So-
your action. You call it.
2
when
horses
it
are just for in
happens.
case.
Right. So
Kind of like why you have 4 wheels.
that's
You don't need 4 wheels.
20 unnatural to sleight of
got
hand
it.
to hide the bow.
Yep,
Makes
well
sense,
hidden. You
And then-
take your bow and you hide it down beneath you, and it's like you look around and no, but everybody's
Shoot
fixated
behind
on
his
the
back.
race
You
itself.
can attack people.
They're completely oblivious to what
I'm
you're
just
doing.
gonna cast spells.
Do you want me to wait for them to pass?
You tell me when you fire.
Well, it's all
whenever they come up.
You tell me when you fire.
So just say when they get there.
You just
Alright,
say
alright,
It's all at disadvantage.
Pause.
if you
Fire.
attack from
Got
the
it.
chariot.
Okay, opponents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3.
I think you can still do your action.
4. These 2. This one is swerves.
You roll your animal handling.
He
at
slams into the
disadvantage.
wall
And you
itself,
can
and he
both
just kind
attack
of
and-
grinds to a halt.
You roll your animal handling
One.
check at disadvantage if you attack.
This one back here slams into this wall and kind of grinds to a halt. This one goes ahead and moves forward.
Oh, you still have to roll twice.
Yeah,
for
1,
that, though?
2. Actually, let me roll a d12.
Do you roll the d12 before you move? Or after?
I didn't
Oh,
think that.
Tom.
Slick ground. Again,
Why
another
does it say combine them, but
1d4.
then it says
It is
both
a
rolls?
It's
short
all
bow.
simultaneously.
I don't know if that makes a difference.
Nope.
It's a short bow.
Yeah, I'll
You
go.
combine an attack and an action.
And an
So,
8.
You
One
just
of them
have to
broke
roll
another
your
leg.
action. You would
This one
choose I'm
broke
going to
another
attack
leg.
and
This one-
roll
Man,
my
do
animal
they
handling
feed these
check.
horses? I don't know, like
Put this
And we
one
do
right
both
up on
in
the
one
other
roll.
side of that red one there.
Wow.
She weaves inside of there.
who's that?
Oh, the Emperor. I just knocked everybody
Oh, we
over.
failed.
Yeah.
Who's that lady?
Join the dark side.
Huh?
Who's that lady?
I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna shoot him with Eldritch Blast.
Who's that?
Go
Is it a stranger?
Wait, do whatever
What'd you say?
Is
Yeah,
that if I
she
ever get there?
swerves
So
past. Yes, it
What
is.
was the movie? with-
Fire!
You fire, roll to hit.
Or whatever, like in-
Alright, so
when how did you?
That's,
he's in the rags,
16.
He's like the baby.
That was your
He almost
total?
is babyish.
yes.
16. You see your arrow go flying past. Everybody glances and they're like, where did that come from? This arrow goes chink and it flies off of her.
I'm gonna do
She
like
looks
those
like
old
she's
NASCAR
wearing
games
plate
on
armor.
PlayStation.
Oh,
I'm just
boy.
gonna turn around and go along.
Oh man,
Oh no.
doing that.
Okay.
She's wearing
Wrong way,
plate
wrong way,
armor.
wrong way.
This one sits there and
Remember the one-
fires.
What
All of a
is
sudden,
this?
a lightning bolt comes flying toward
I
Boren's
didn't go
back.
anywhere.
It blasts her right in the back. Roll a dex save.
Oh no, that's only if you're raging. Right?
No, I always have advantage
Oh,
on
okay.
dex. Dex save. That's 14 plus.
A billion.
14 plus 1, so it's 15.
Okay, 15.
I whisper to you, I'm like, that lady's wearing plate armor, is that normal?
I mean, all
Yeah.
her poor horses are
Thaddeus is-
wearing armor too,
Yeah.
so.
Thaddeus is full armored up.
Okay.
I wonder how she goes to the limit.
Yeah, Mattias is in
Spell
full
DC
plate
is
armor
8
right now.
plus intelligence plus proficiency.
Just
bonus,
puts
right?
1 2 in the 12.
So,
Even when you sleep.
Sometimes.
Who polishes it?
I do.
it's
You
very
spend that many
original.
hours on it?
15.
15. Hers is 17. Okay,
I
so
keep a
you
nice
take
black
37
oil
points of
patina
damage.
on it so it
Holy
doesn't rust.
crap! As this lightning bolt slams into the back of you.
37, you said?
Yes, I did. And these two archers who seem to be in a team are kind of flobbing around. They're going to sit there at that point and they're going to fire up at Kip. These arrows, because they're the only target they can see. And he's standing up really, really tall. You see these 2 arrows come flying at you. What's your AC?
16.
16. 2 arrows hit you. They come flying from right behind. You can see the chaos. The crowd is roaring at this point. Arrow and flesh.
I can take down a horse. I can take down a horse for you.
Kill someone. I can eat a horse.
I can take down a horse.
You take whopping
2 attacks. 3.
Oh yeah.
22 points of damage.
I guess technically you'd still win if you're the only one.
Okay, and that is the opponent's. Shalom, you are up.
Is this a 500 lap race?
I'm gonna use my.
It's a 1.25 lap race, I think.
It's a 1 lap.
1.25.
It's a 1 lap.
I'm gonna run inside fighting.
You're gonna do what?
Inside fighting on her.
I encourage fighting.
I don't know what that is. You tell me.
It's my special ability as an Inquisitor.
Okay, cool.
Should I?
27
down here just in case.
against her DC.
Her deception, she just roll, right? On the one in the armor in front of you, who just passed you?
Yep.
And that's with her charisma, correct?
I thought I only got hit.
No,
Oh,
they just
yes.
shot me in the
10.
back
She
with
feels
2 arrows.
miserable.
Okay. So
No, not great.
I'm gonna attack her
That was
with my short sword.
25% of my
We're armed, right?
I'm sorry? Yeah, as she drives by you, you're right next to her, you swing across at her.
Yep. And since I'm attacking, I
don't know
roll
when I'm
with
gonna be back
disadvantage.
You're doing animal handling and attack at the same time with this.
Yes, yes,
Yes. I'm just gonna trot.
yes.
Good call.
No, run.
What I am
Run.
going to say
You're gonna
is
run.
Shalom and Balder are not my enemies in this race right now. Do the hand out.
Okay, I pass the run.
This is about getting hit.
Okay.
But I only got a 10 on my attack.
A 10. You take off bolting at a run, and your sword, you feel it slam into her armor, and she's wearing a set of plate armor, or at least it looks like plate. And just like the figure, you see it slams into her, and it kind of nicks off of her at that point.
So we got 1,
She's about to I don't know
2,
what your range is,
3,
and I'm
4,
about to-
5, 6, 7, 8,
that was
9,
I'll do what I
10.
can right now. I'm gonna
Okay, roll a
focus
d12 for a random event.
I don't know how bad because he got
A 1.
Burst of energy.
Burst of energy.
Oh,
You
nice.
gain another 1d4 rounds.
Nice.
4.
Whoa.
Shalom
1,
takes
2,
off.
3, 4.
The crowd roars.
Dude, you're not
Marius,
gonna
you are
This
up.
is true.
Anything up in the peanut gallery? As you watch the races.
Oh, did we totally skip me?
Did we?
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I'm at the bottom.
Oh, we
After the
did.
opponent.
My
We
bad.
didn't do
I'm sorry.
nothing.
Jumnus, go. What are you doing?
I'm sorry.
My bad.
I'm-
No, that was me. My fault.
It's hard to see down there.
My fault. No, it's not. I just missed it.
I'm casting healing word on Kip. Because
So
he's
you
right
need
in
to
front of me.
reposition these cameras. There we go.
So he heals he heals 10 health. And unless you're undead or a construct.
Oh, I just happen to be both.
And then I have a range of 60 feet
Because I have only one goal. I should be a trot. Because I want to be.
And I'm going to ready. I'm going to use the ready action as my action because that was my bonus action.
Okay.
I'm going to hold Sacred Flame until the one casting lightning bolt is within range, within 60 feet of me.
Teammates, which means
So
you
when
still
that
wanna
happens,
win.
I'm gonna light her up with
You
divine
still
fire.
want to win.
But you're the only
Okay, just
Yeah,
now
but I'm
it's
just saying.
Yep.
Inherently,
Okay,
at
that
the back of
was
your
then
mind,
Shalom
you
went.
want to win the
Thaddeus,
race.
you were
You're
up.
reading this wrong.
Anything
Yes, you
up
are.
in the peanut
No,
gallery?
'cause I don't want to win. My character
Nothing
doesn't
I
want
can
to
do.
win.
Okay, Balder, you are up, followed by Kip.
Stone fireball.
The whole point you entered is competition.
Go, Balder.
Nah, I don't think that would go over well.
I will try and do this
After the
again.
last fireball that
All
happened.
right, I run,
Yeah.
and we're good. I
Okay, so
move
you
10.
run, you move 10 hexes. And then roll for a random event.
A burst
A
of
1,
energy.
a burst of energy.
Another 3
Another 3.
after my 10.
And you can do an attack if you want at disadvantage there. As you're trying to handle both the chariot and your... Or you don't have to, of course.
Yeah, I'll leave it.
Okay, Balder, that's Kip. Now Kip is up, followed by Borinth.
Right.
Then Luvier, then everybody else.
So that is a sprint.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to enter it and then say you don't want
The Emperor goes down again.
Then why would you
The
enter at
Emperor
all?
seems to sit up in his seat.
So,
Yes!
so what
This is
Does he have
terrific.
to wave between them? Or
yeah,
can
so
he
it's,
trample them?
15
You just
plus the 2.
you're weaving in and out.
Yeah,
It's
so,
movement
uh,
is just all
what is
around
this?
each other,
What,
unless
5,
you tell me you're
10,
slamming into them,
15,
or unless one becomes debris in front of you. Make sense?
Nope.
4.
How many hexes? Does it go by
4?
hexes?
Hexes.
First, what, here?
So it's 15
Where's-
hexes.
Oh, 15
Not
hexes.
feet.
Yes.
Sorry. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So right about there. Here?
Yep.
Somewhere? Sounds
Now
like that.
roll
An event?
a random event.
And I just want to reiterate, you said we can use inspiration to re-roll random events.
Sure, I'm
plus-
going to go with it now.
Wait, 15 plus my 2, right?
I didn't say it. It wasn't in the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
makes
one,
sense.
two,
Yeah.
I was just curious.
No, it's a good idea. Why not?
That's a
otherwise
D12 we want,
it's
right?
a lot of broken.
No, it's good.
1, so burst of energy.
Burst of energy. There's been a lot of bursts of energy here.
That's a D4, right?
The only good one.
Too.
Yes.
It's one or the other. Those are the only two.
Nice.
Okay, Shalom and Kip.
Hey,
I'm
Shalom.
sorry, Kip.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I don't care if you win. But
Uh-oh.
He's going to kill you.
I'm sorry.
Luckily, he's not good.
Oh
at
wait, you're
You're not on my team.
Well, you don't
Oh
know.
my
You
I
don't
don't know
know.
this. Yeah.
Okay.
I like wave to you, and I'm all like, hey.
Hey, and he's got like these
Borinth,
angry
you're-
eyes.
Borinth, you're up. Followed
I'm
by
sorry.
Luvier.
I just took a
That is the
lightning
proper
bolt
way
to
to
And
react.
I'm like, hey, and you're like,
And
I'm
I'm
sorry.
going to
No, but
rage.
I still don't
Okay.
want to win.
Immediately
It's
rage.
not
Well, I
one of
think-
my suggestions.
Okay, yeah, you're up. I'm sorry. You're
My
right.
suggestion is to
Yeah.
kill
So
everyone.
I'm gonna rage.
Not to win.
Okay, you are
And
raging.
Kill?
As soon as I rage, I hear the boos from the crowd. I'm gonna take my hammer out. I'm gonna raise my hammer up. I'm gonna go, Canusar! So that's
The unconscious orc.
60 feet
He's acting
of
like it's only kill.
cold blast
But it's
in
only
all
kill.
directions.
Except my teammates.
From-
so you
from
can
you?
still
From
win.
me.
Yeah,
So
but
60
my goal is to
feet
kill.
Here's
from
the thing
me
about
all around.
Or
You
it's
don't
not
have to pick
to
who you
kill.
hurt, right?
His opponent. His
On top
opponent.
of all
Let's
of
just
that,
call it there.
on top of
That's
all of
not
that,
60 feet.
I'm
The
not
fact
gonna
that
stop
says-
to check.
Yeah.
So 10.
Here's my thing.
But I do have a
It
sword.
says, besides
Okay,
your teammates,
You got.
in his mind, he's
These
still
guys-
looking at
Oh,
somebody
let's get
wanting to win.
everybody
over
There's
there.
still
Right
a team here.
Right.
But he
I'll
thinks
just
it
say-
doesn't
Okay,
mean
just
it.
double that, in other words.
Yeah.
You're in a
it's just
race. You
Yeah,
still
so
want
I
to
got
win.
everybody in there.
But you
Yeah,
have this
yeah, you got,
obsessive
yeah,
mind that I
you
got
got
to kill
that
everyone.
down.
Or maybe
Not them. But
No.
they're not my
You
opponent.
probably got her. You
Yeah,
might have that
that's your
guard up
opponent's
there.
only-
Okay,
But I don't
Roll
think that
damage.
qualifies because
My
you entered
character
the
damage.
race.
Okay.
didn't
I think the
But
guard
you
is an
did.
opponent.
So
No.
I feel
Oh,
like
that's
that
right.
one
It's an
goes
opponent.
on to
Disregard.
one.
Disregard.
Yeah, just opponent.
Okay.
You chose to
the
enter.
stakes
You want to
are
win.
I'm not trying to kill the whole crowd either.
That's true.
1d6 times
To-
my level
to
on the cooldown.
Get
Help
the
me.
earnings to try and help him.
no, they're booing him, so he's gonna kill him.
But I don't think you're allowed to say you
So
don't want to
4
win
times
and you
6.
volunteered to race. I don't think it works.
24.
Volunteer
24?
because they won
Yep.
before.
24 points of
So you
damage,
should
and
still
I have to
little
beat a
bit of
DC
competitive, like, oh,
12.
the only
I'll give my
reason.
best shot.
For what?
For
half damage?
half damage,
That's
and
it.
if
That was
they
my best shot.
do not
And you're
But
doing
now,
great.
now I have something
pass
worth
that,
it,
they are blinded.
which is the
Oh
kill
my
everyone.
gosh.
Yeah, but it's on
Or-
top of that. It's
She's
not
fine.
more important.
No, it's
She,
this is a
what,
spell.
DC...
And the horses
What
too.
kind of save?
The spell code.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Dex.
but you're reading it in a
Dex,
sense.
okay, they
that's
both
not
save.
fair.
But they still take the damage,
But
obviously.
it has to be
It's full
suggested.
damage or half damage?
If they succeed, it's half damage.
Okay, so they take 12 points of damage each. This cold blast bursts out from them,
Which he will.
Yeah. That's
engulfing that area. Everybody else feels this cold wave, but nobody else, because they're not quote opponents, takes damage.
Well, what do you mean? So
I meant people in the audience.
Oh, okay, yeah. So he takes what? What?
He takes damage.
Okay.
She takes
But
damage.
I'm
I didn't roll for
saying that
him.
they save.
Saved, and she saved.
I'm not
They
gonna
all
be
saved?
checking if you're
Ah,
dead.
it's
How about
12.
her?
Yeah, she saved.
You see that?
Okay, that one right
The
back
way I
there.
read that,
This one
Beat
failed.
unconscious or kill.
Because it's based off
You're
my
just
level.
being very
Okay,
violent and racing.
That's why I
Like road rage.
Okay, but what about the horses?
Being road rage.
Oh, good point. Good point. Good point.
Borth hates those horses.
Good point. Good point. I didn't think of that. Okay, over there. 12. You said save.
Thinking of it in the element of it's in a race.
A 17
So
and
think
an
about it
8.
like that,
One.
getting road rage.
I'm gonna say
You're
it doesn't
still
have a
trying to
bonus.
win the
One
race, but
fails
you're beating
miserably.
everything that is near you. That is exactly what I was wrong.
5
That
and
is
a
how he meant
13,
Yes,
and
it
then
is.
over there
100%, that is how he
a
meant
2 and a 14. So basically,
Each
those
one of them
three
loses a horse.
And the horse
well,
is,
they
and the
took-
horse is,
as a hurdle
they
or
took
something.
24 points.
and the
of
horse is
damage.
blinded.
And the horse is blinded to boot.
For I gotta wait. Do how many rounds? So that's 4 times.
And then plus on top of that, if you want to read it the way you're reading it, then you wouldn't do it.
So
The-
4
the
rounds.
Suggestion wouldn't take.
Okay.
So for 4 rounds, the horses are
But I'm
blinded.
telling you, the way the rules are written, you're being suggested.
All right,
to
and
do
then I'm gonna
something you
keep
wouldn't
moving.
normally do.
I guess I'm
So-
moving on my chariot too.
Yes.
Right?
Roll.
But
And you rolled a random event already, or
because it would all supersede if it's not.
No, I didn't roll to move.
The only
yet.
reason that this
I rolled
spell
a
is something
10.
you would even
Okay,
think
and
about
what type
doing
of
is
movement are you
'cause you're
trying
in
to
a
do?
competition.
Run.
Oh, I don't know. I
Run.
guess
You're
run.
missing the whole point.
Okay, so run. So you move 10 hexes.
Okay. Hey, Kip, can you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I guess.
Okay.
Approximately, right?
Presumably you're
Yeah,
going
I'm
with
going
it.
with it.
Just roll a
I am
random
going
event.
with it. Random event. That is a 6.
A 6 smooth going. Any attacks made from a moving chariot are normal attacks and not with disadvantage. Okay, on your next round there. Sound good?
Yeah, so... Okay, yeah, that's good.
Okay, cool.
I'm wondering if I
Okay,
can,
Warren, Louvier, you're up. What are you doing?
Actual action.
Yeah, is it an event?
If it's an action, you
I
would
feel like I should blow people up.
Yeah, I'm gonna make
Because I already did her out.
another bow attack
Okay.
against that plate lady.
Okay. She's right there in front of you.
I'm gonna use that if I get to pass them.
I'm gonna use an inspiration reroll that.
Sure.
And Tom, I just want to remind you that that charm spell is gone because I raged.
Got it.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
18.
18 does not hit. The
What
arrow
the butt?
chings off of her.
What
She's
the
wearing
butt?
plate.
Oh, and there's no roll for this.
She's wearing a
too.
plate.
So no disadvantage to do it.
She's wearing plate. She's not an archer or a mage. She's wearing
Nuts!
plate. Yeah, she's like Maddie. She's like one of you guys. Anyway,
Manius
okay,
is
anything
falling
else?
Well, I'm assuming I would
Opponents,
still
the
get
opponents
disadvantage on my
move
horse
away,
check,
which is
because I'm
all of
making an
them,
attack
which is the
action.
lady in the rear. She takes off
But I
in a
can't
sprint,
fail this. They can fail
moving.
it by making
Move
a
her
roll.
15 forward, please.
Which one? I'm sorry.
The Blondie.
Do I get an attack of opportunity as she passes by
Sure,
me?
go for it.
Yes!
Sure, go for it. And a random event for her as you're doing that.
That's
is
16 plus a 15? 27 to hit.
27 hits. Whatever you're swinging swings through her. I said 15 she was moving.
That's a 10.
11, 12, 13.
She gets a
14,
bump.
15.
Blondie's coming around the outside.
Everybody,
How do you know she went to the outside or the
bounces
inside?
in the air and she has to make a
There's no
saving
room on the
throw to
outside.
avoid being
There's
bumped
plenty of
out of
room
it.
on the inside.
She rolls an 18.
Okay.
She's
She
inside
ducks
of it.
in.
Did she go on the inside or the outside?
She's heading to the inside.
Yeah, they're right.
1, 2, 3, outside, 4, 5, 6. She went outside.
She's here.
Okay, she's right
And that's
there.
5.
She's never gonna win a race like that.
Oh,
And, okay, those two in the back.
8, 9, 10.
This guy is like slamming against. He's like bopping up against this wall. He's just like.
He's gonna fall into the pillar.
He's just gonna sit there. He's gonna fire.
There's someone worse than me?
At disadvantage. Yeah, he rolls at disadvantage.
Let him on the track.
Hey.
He's got a 19 against your armor. Does that hit you in the back? No! This arrow, you feel this arrow go ching!
Just so you know, she took when she passed me by. She took
I don't
12
even
points of
notice. I'm
damage.
just hanging on for
12
dear
points of
life.
damage. Okay.
On the
Got it.
yeah, I should hit the
She
horse.
previously took 12. She's at 24. She took minus 24. Okay, and the other archer back there. Miserable. These guys are having a lousy time. 3. He slams into the right wall.
This guy, he doesn't go anywhere.
He doesn't go anywhere.
He goes
slams
over the
into
wall?
right wall. He's going
Right
to try
into
and
the crowd?
fire at Borinth at disadvantage because he tried to move.
Wait, who was firing?
He's at 20. Does 20 hit? No.
Oh,
He
that's
shoots. Okay, Balder rather. I'm sorry, not boring. Then she tries to move. She rolls. Okay, she finally gets some movement. She moves forward 15 hexes.
So how does the fact that they have a blind horse affect them?
She reaches up and she cuts it loose with her action.
Oh, okay.
He actually rolled a 20 at disadvantage. That's pretty good.
Haha! Roll a dex
Well,
save.
he does have a dex bonus too.
Opportunity.
She has to roll a dex save.
Okay, she rolls a
Tech
dex
opportunities
save.
work outside.
And
Attack
she
of opportunity.
rolls.
I'll smash her with a hammer as she goes by. Try.
Dex, she rolls a 15.
Haha! She fails. She takes 8 points of. Oh no! Oh, 14 points of radiant damage.
Do I get to hit? Do I get to hit her as she goes by?
Sure, of course you do. Wisdom modifier to it now.
I
She
hit
used
her.
her action to cut away the
you
horse as a
count
random
the
event
bonus
for her,
from
and she gets a 7.
I don't get to remember
Expert
what I rolled ahead.
charioteer.
Plus 1 on
Does that
Plus
yeah,
nine.
does horse
Above
doesn't
my
slow
modifier.
them down?
Plus 9.
Lame.
Cool.
So yeah, you raise your dex.
I know, I'm sorry. I didn't want to get too specific. I could, like, you could bury it.
I do 11 as she goes by as well.
You do 11 more points to her, minus 24. She's up at minus 35. Okay.
She's bloody.
Okay, Jumnus, you are up.
No, he just used
Make
the
another.
spell.
No, that was my readied action.
Yes.
Make another dex save.
Another
Again.
dex save, and she gets advantage on this one because she got expert charioteer. She has a. This is the one in armor or the mage?
The mage.
The mage. The mage gets a dex 18.
She saves. She takes no damage.
No damage.
Oh.
It is what it is.
It's 3 of 10. Everybody have a good time. Guys, I'd love to keep going, but I know some people have movies to go to and everything.
You? It's a tradition.
Hey, did everybody have a good time? At least I did. The RP is cool too. Going around the table, real quick, I'm trying to wrap up as fast as we can. Thank you for your help with the technical issues. Did you have a good time?
Yes.
For the most part? You look like you're a little on the fence there.
We were
at
trying
one
to
point.
clarify. We were trying to clarify the suggestion, because if it says only your teammate is the one you'll avoid, doesn't that inherently mean he still knows he's in a competition to win a race and he would still want to win instead of superseding and just wanting to beat everybody?
What the suggestion
I'll let you
spell
roll.
description says.
You know what I mean?
I'll let
Like,
you
that's
roll.
what he was struggling
Did you
with.
hear me
It's
telling me no? Did you hear me telling me no? Did you hear me telling you no?
No.
Okay, so you roll play however you want, man.
Yeah, because the description for the spells says that I have to do to the best of
Because
my
I
abilities.
feel like if he still knows I'm his teammate, then he
Yes.
still knows he's in a race.
I'm not gonna fight you.
Still
If you
knows
can
he wants to win.
rationalize
It's just that if you go past me, I'm gonna skip you. But not your horse.
But you're thinking about it too. You're thinking about it too mathematically instead of role playing.
Sobs mathematically.
Fighting over the rules.
It's all good. It's however you want to play it.
Okay.
If you can rationalize it to me, rarely do I say no. Rarely, very rarely.
Don't worry.
But if it doesn't pass the common sense test, then I might say.
Oh, we should take a picture
1250
of
on
this or something.
experience.
Of that.
Yeah.
Where we're at.
Warren,
I already took
Ryan,
the so
did you have fun?
I know where he is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah, part of that was a huge part of that was your level difference and so forth.
It's still Balder though. It's never changed.
Why do I keep calling you?
I love that he says it's never changed.
What did I say? 12. I'm not going to go into virtue bolt. I keep old game. Sorry about that. You had a good time. 500 on experience. Kip,
Yes.
did you have a good time?
Yes.
What was the highlight there, guys?
This was a you know, when I first saw these rules, I was very intimidated by them. But then actually doing it, this is very simple.
Yeah.
And it was very fun.
Okay, cool.
A huge improvement over the first time.
Yeah, I simplified it a lot.
The
Yeah.
first time it was more like
that's
we were
me,
doing
though,
like
like-
we were doing acrobatics the first time. Everyone flew off the chariots and we're like running
Trying to
together.
simplify.
No, but that's the way I am. Like,
Yeah.
that's these guys, like playing a board game. The first time they read rules to me, I'm like,
I'm gonna go see it. I can't wait.
but then I'll play like one round. I'm like, oh, I get it. You know, like, that's
This
me.
is fun.
Yeah.
Brad, thank you for the adventure log and the hooks and so forth. 800 on experience. Sure. Cool. Kip.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Thank you for the adventure log. That's really, really helpful stuff. Because you are 2 levels below the highest level person, so you got 1,300 on experience.
Thank you.
Okay. Reiner, did you have a good time?
Yes.
Okay.
I did.
Awesome. Enjoy the movie, Brett.
Yeah.
Hope I got you out of here on time.
Soon.
You got it, man.
Okay, Reiner. I hope you had a good time. I look forward to hearing what your communication with Buddha is on the other parts.
Buddha.
You are 1 level below the highest level person, so 1050 on experience, sir.
1050.
Yep.
All right.
Okay. Brian, did you have
Sure.
a good time?
Of course.
Okay, awesome. You are 1 level below the
my.
highest level person, so another 250 bonus. I didn't see a log from you, so 750 on experience.
How about the other stuff that I sent you? The history and the backstory and all
Oh, okay. I'll send you that separately. Cool.
Okay. So what am I getting?
750, and then I'll send you that other stuff.
Okay.
Sound good?
Sound good.
Wyland, did you have a good time? Welcome back. I hope kind of getting back into the rhythm of things. You're massively below the rest of the party, so I show you 3 levels below. So you are 1250 on experience.
Cool deal.
Okay, awesome guys.
Good times.
Hmm?
Good times.
Is it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's only 5 sessions in the making. We made it.
It is what it is. Matt, Mark, could you tap that center button for me, if you don't mind? Whatever. That's all good. Hey guys, I hope everybody had a great time. Thank you for watching a Carpathian Adventures, a 7-sided die. It's moving very, very slowly. Again, we would like to thank Sirenscape for the use of their audio sound effects. You probably heard some of them in the background mixed with some other stuff. That's www.syrinscape.com. Artist Yenu for the terrific sketches, as well as Silky Noir for their new character art of Virexin and Louvier. Please patronize them at the @Yenu Draws on Instagram, the @Yenu on Tumblr, and on Twitter, and on Silky Noir on Deviant Art. Okay. Please comment. Oh, we're good. Please comment in the chat room on Instagram.
Well, you know
on
by
YouTube.
now what it's gonna say.
Please let us know how we may improve this stream. And Brian, as Brian says, I know what he's going to say. Please let us know how we can improve this stream. As he says, ring, ding that bell, please. Give us a couple likes every now and then. We've got a few. Not as many as I would like, but give us a couple likes. Please follow us on Twitch and Instagram. Like and subscribe. Subscribe. Please subscribe on YouTube. We want to get a custom URL. For now, thank you for watching. Roll a 7-sided die. Have a great night.